By any measure, Auburn versus Georgia is one of college football's finest rivalries. Crowds, 86,000 plus on hand tonight here in Athens. History, tonight's meeting is the 103rd in the series. Close games, about 4 overtimes in 1996. Unpredictability. Georgia's fifth-year senior safety Larry Mann has never seen the home team win this series. Intensity, Auburn quarterback and Georgia native Ben Leard carried off the field on a stretcher 2 weeks ago, says nothing can keep him from playing tonight. Great players. How about Fran Tarkington, Herschel Walker, and Bo Jackson? This year, Auburn relies on the passing game. Every time they've scored 20 points, Tommy Tuberville's Tigers have made it stand up with Big D. Georgia's Jasper Sangs has at times been brilliant at tailback, but it's strong-arm Quincy Carter that makes the Bulldogs' offense go. The challenge for Georgia, stop the pass to win tonight's renewal of the oldest rivalry in the Deep South. It's a rivalry that started in 1892 and is as hot and heavy as ever here in 1999. The 16th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs entertain the Auburn Tigers. Welcome, everybody, to college football here on ESPN2. I'm Steve Levy. Thrilled to be above the hedges with Todd Christensen. Thoughts from Holly Rowe in just a little bit. Plain and simple, here's the deal for Georgia. They win out, they'll likely get a New Year's Day bowl game. They had a well-placed off week a week ago. That's 2 weeks to forget what happened to Quincy Carter.
Quincy Carter against Florida was 6 of 23, arguably his worst game, so he's had a week to heal his wounds and get some confidence back. Certainly playing against Auburn should do a lot for his confidence. You see the numbers there against Auburn last year, arguably his best game as a starter. Tommy Tuberville believes that Quincy Carter is the best athlete in the SEC.
As for Auburn, they have 2 games left, including tonight. They win out. That makes them bowl eligible. A lot of people feel they'd already be bowl eligible. If Ben Leard was healthy throughout the season, he will start tonight.
He is somebody that has missed all or part of 6 games throughout the season. He has put up some terrific numbers. That's a 71% completion percentage. He has yet to throw an interception, Steve. As Ben Leard goes, so go the Auburn Tigers.
This figures to be a wild passing football game tonight, as both defenses combine to average better than 530 yards allowed in the air per game. The opening kickoff is next.
As a mountain stream. Head for the mountains of Bush Beer.
Why do I have Aflac insurance on top of my regular health insurance? Because he has his mother's eyes. Because I still have to teach him to whistle. And because Aflac helps cover what other insurance doesn't. If I'm injured, Aflac even provides cash to help pay bills. So why do I have Aflac? He has his mother's eyes. Aflac supplemental insurance. Without it, no insurance is complete.
That's a big boy.
Look out. Rondé. He needs 23. He's across the 40. Open up the history books. Here comes Rondé. And with that 31-yard run, it wasn't a long touchdown run like Dorsett or Williams had, but it was vintage Rondé, and Coach Makovic, he is now Division I's all-time leading rusher.
It took Ricky Williams over 20 years to break Tony Dorsett's record. Rondé, 1 year to do it. There's some youngster sitting out there saying that someday I'll do it.
Rondé over 200 yards right now in Wisconsin's game against Iowa. Reese Davis, John Makovic with you in the studio. And oh, by the way, there's an added bonus, 34-3, and with Penn State's loss to Michigan today, Wisconsin is off to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, and Ron now has over 200 yards rushing, adding to his record.
The Big Ten championship just going to tick off the clock, and it will be won by Wisconsin for the 2nd straight year. In the SEC, a huge battle in the West. Winner of this game, the inside track on the SEC championship game, Alabama over State 13-7.
It's Alabama showing the defense in this game. Mississippi came in with big numbers.
And speaking of SEC, we're about to go between the hedges for one of the South's great rivalries, Auburn and Georgia. Steve Levy standing by.
All right, Reese, John, thanks very much. We told you Georgia comes off the off week, and 2 weeks ago a loss to Florida, while Auburn snapped a 5-game losing streak, beating Central Florida 28-10. Third member of our broadcast crew, and one of our favorites. Here's Holly Rowe.
Thank you, Steve. Quarterback Ben Leard's health was a question mark before the game because of a concussion suffered at Arkansas. He was pulled as a starter at the last minute last week against Central Florida because he didn't pass some balance tests and was still suffering from headaches. But he is set to go tonight. He will start. The doctor said that he passed every test. It's a good thing because he has been raring to go between the hedges. He grew up about an hour away. Is a lifelong Georgia fan. He said it's a dream come true to play here at Sanford Stadium. He looked very poised, focused, and full of clarity in his warm-ups tonight.
All right, Holly, thanks very much. Jim Donnan in his 4th season as head coach of Georgia.
Doing all the right things. I like what Jim Donnan has done here, and Tommy Tuberville on the other side in his first year with Auburn. Some growing pains, needless to say, but he's got Auburn on the right track, I believe, Steve.
We are just about set to go. Better than 85,000 on hand in Athens, Georgia. Brett Kerouac is set to kick it off. Travaris Robinson and Tim Carter are deep, and we are underway. And it's Robinson in the end zone. He'll take a knee, and Auburn will operate 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. The backs behind Van Leard. Heath Evans is a tailback in a fullback's body. He's been getting it done the last couple of games for Auburn. The receivers, Ronnie Daniels, he's their touchdown maker. He's got 7 of them to lead the team. And Geno James is the jewel of the offensive line. He started every game in his career. And there is Geno, who has huddled the troops a week ago in an effort to say, hey, the offensive line will do our job. Everybody else get going. And they did, as we pointed out, beat Central Florida 28-10. 1st and 10 from the 20. First play under center. And there is Ben Leard handing off to Heath Evans. Instead, it's around the right side. What a reverse. And a big Tim Carter, the redshirt freshman wide receiver, picks up 15 off the reverse. And the Georgia defense that tried to catch up on that play. Richard Seymour is the best of the bunch up front. The junior has admitted this week he's thinking about the upcoming NFL draft. Of the linebackers, Boss Bailey, he is Champ's younger brother. He's the leading tackler on the team, and the DBs watch for both corners. Jamie Henderson is the best cover guy, but the 2 corners, Gilon and Robinson, they each have 5 interceptions. Pick up a 15 on the play off the reverse. This is 1st and 10 now from the 35. And this time they do, in fact, give it to Heath Evans up the middle for a pickup of 2 on the play.
Steve, the initial reverse is indicative of the way Tommy Tuberville is approaching this game. He really feels like he has to do some special things to get going. He mentioned to me the possibility of Auburn being in the shotgun with Ben Leard somewhere between 60 and 70% of the time. He wants to make the Georgia defensive people cover in space.
They give him 3 on the play. And he said, we will not hesitate to run out of the shotgun position. Right now, Leard is under center. Wide receiver split out to the right and to the left. Clifton Robinson is in the game, and he's got the football. And Robinson is brought down. Looks like a loss of yardage on the play. It was Kendrell Bell on the stop from his middle linebacker position.
Ben Leard actually had to make an adjustment. It was clear that the runner didn't know what direction to go. It looked like an underneath handoff, but it went on top. Kendrell Bell, the big middle linebacker, a junior college transfer. Talking with Kevin Ramsey last night, he genuinely believes number 37 is going to play at the next level. Stephen Davis is running it up, having a big year with the Redskins, but since he left, he has left the cupboard bare. 1.9 per carry. That's egregious.
Loss of 3 on the play brings up a 3rd and 10. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 out to the left. Lead starts out of the shotgun, now steps up so everybody can hear the signals, and now take the snap. Here's Leard to throw for the first time tonight. And it's complete to Travaris Robinson, and a great effort with Larry Mann draped on his back to pick up the extra yardage needed for the first down.
What happens sometimes, Steve, is it's a misnomer to think that you've got to throw the distance of the first down. What you have to do sometimes is let athletes make play, and that's exactly what Travaris Robinson does. Ronnie Daniels was able to run some people off, enabling Travaris Robinson to catch the ball in the crossing route. As you pointed out, Mann was on top of him, but he was able to beat the young man in coverage and get the first down.
Fresh set of downs for Auburn. The kind of drive they hope to start with in this football game. I mean, there's a heavy underdog. Handoff up the middle to Evans, and he picks up about 1 on the play, right on top of that Georgia symbol.
See, the point that I was trying to make is that too many times you say it's third and 8, you've got to run an 8-yard route. That's why you have skill players to make plays happen. Leard has a lot of confidence in him. And you see the numbers by Keith Evans, you say to yourself, what's the big deal? Well, that average right there, 3.3, we pointed out just a little while ago, that's 1.4 yards better than the team is doing. The team is averaging less than 2 yards per carry, so they'll take that 3.3.
Auburn is ranked next to last in rushing, 111th in rushing in the nation. Here's Leard the pass, going for the man. He had him, and it's batted away. There is no flag. Excellent coverage by the cover guy, Jamie Henderson, on Markeith Cooper.
Steve, you called it earlier. He is the man in coverage. He is their best man-for-man defender. This time he's locked up with Markeith Cooper. Leard has what he wanted. Cooper's able to fend him off. Watch as he reaches right at the last minute. That's a great job to get the ball up there and snatch it away and almost come up with a catch. Excellent play by Henderson to not get interference, too.
Henderson with the 5 interceptions. We mentioned his fellow quarterback also has 5 interceptions. A 3rd and 9 now from the 48-yard line. Leard, straight drop back, middle screen, got a man. It's Travaris Robinson, and he again has enough for the first down. Pickup of 10 on the play.
What Georgia does here, Steve, is they decide to go into zone coverage. Leard does the right thing to get the ball underneath, and once again, it's a short route that he's able to complete and run downfield and get the first down. He caught it about 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage because Georgia was so deep in their zones, they didn't come up quickly enough to stop him before he could get the first down.
Travaris Robinson a week ago was named Special Teams Player of the Week. We'll be looking for that offensive award on this first drive this week. And a timeout has been called, and that will kill some of the momentum off this terrific start to an Auburn drive. Timeout, Tigers were scoreless early on from Athens.
Which Sports Center do you watch? Now at 6 p.m. only on ESPN. We are in for a battle tonight.
This is your night, baby. Let's go get it. Time to spend the money. Come on.
Oh, take it from it.
I'm a bad man. I shook up the world. I must be the greatest.
Meet Cyber Ali and his chump-dumping, hammer-happy, hit-the-canvas, this-and-down, boom-boom Banshee. Knockout Kings 2000. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Let's see some D.
Log on to dsports.com, the ultimate sporting goods store. dsports.com. Choose the D.
Let's be honest. There's really no such thing as a gracious winner. You might say things like nice game or shake your opponent's hand. But no matter how humble you are on the outside, deep down on the inside, you're saying, I'm better than you are. The Mitsubishi Galant, ranked the #1 family sedan under 20 grand by Car and Driver. Better than Accord or Camry. Boy, we just love saying that.
Are you ready for this? Kick Old Man winter in the teeth with Prestone Antifreeze, the #1 way to fight corrosion and protect your aluminum radiator to 84 below. Get in the Prestone zone so nothing can stop you now.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, the 2000 Galant, Wake Up and Drive, and by Prestone Antifreeze. Protect your car in the Prestone zone.
Back in Athens, Georgia. 3 wide receivers to the left. They sent a man in motion. That's Reggie Worthy going to the top of your screen. On 1st and 10, Leard to throw. Screen out to the left to Travaris Robinson, and that time not much there, although a flag comes in late. And we'll see what the call is. Jeff Harris made the tackle.
One of the reasons why it was pointed out to us, Steve, one of the reasons why Ben Leard has this tremendous percentage is these are a lot of the throws that he has, a lot of screens and a lot of short passes. And they catch a break there with the face mask. The defense was all over that short screen, but now an attack on some yardage. Ben Leard apparently during the week.
Face mask on the defense. Play lost yardage. 5-yard penalty will be enforced. Previous spot. Repeat. First down.
Rom Gilbert, our referee today.
Here's the catch, and of course he's stopped. There's Henderson. That's a good call by the official. He certainly did. And to his credit, Henderson pulled his hand off at the last minute, but the official's on top of it. And it's a break for Auburn.
Leard is closing in on a record. He came in 4 attempts shy of Randy Campbell's school record for the most consecutive passes attempted without an interception.
Randy Wright, you might remember, had a pretty decent career as a backup and a sometime starter for the Green Bay Packers during the Lynn Dickey years. But you're a Jets guy, so you wouldn't remember that.
I remember Lynn Dickey for the Packers, sure. After the penalty, the first and 8 from the 36 now. Leard under center, 2 receivers out to the right, and they go back to the running game to Heath Evans, and there is some yardage on that play. Brandon Miller, the stop.
That's a big number 51. You know how you get used to numbers? The reason I say that, right? When you see big bodies, you always think in the 70s. That's a big 51. That really is. I always think of numbers like, say, remember Dick Butkus was 51. But Miller's a little bigger than 245, I'd say.
He goes 6'1", 300, the senior from Greensboro, Georgia. Pickup of 2 on the play. Called 2nd and 5 now. Leard hands it off to Clifton Robinson. Try on the left side for a couple.
One of the things that Auburn lacks, obviously, Steve, is at the point of attack, they don't dominate the line of scrimmage. Noel Mazzoni has just been frustrated over that because as an offensive coordinator, you got to have a little bit of a mix. It's one thing to talk about throwing the ball all over the field, but you got to have something to set up the play-action pass. Noel Mazzoni was very candid with us, Steve, when he conceded the fact that, hey, 1.9 per carry, what can you say? We're not running the ball. It's a lot more pressure on me to move the right pieces.
Not to mention putting the pressure on the quarterback, Ben Leard, trying to keep him upright without the help of a running game. On 3rd and 5 now, 3 wide receivers out to the right. And here's Leard looking right. He's throwing that direction, and he had a man. It was drop ball. Keith Cooper, a perfectly placed football right over one defender and in front of another.
Kendrell Bell actually makes this play because he's going to distract him a little bit. The ball is thrown, and Bell is in the way, and Cooper should have come up with this ball. Good coverage on the part of Georgia in the secondary. And, Steve, at the 37-yard line, it's kind of a tweener thing, and it appears that they're going to go for it.
On a 4th and 5, Auburn that comes in 1 and 5 in conference play, but there is something on the line here. A chance to be bowl eligible should they win their final 2 games.
Watch the crossing route underneath, Steve.
Here's Leard with plenty of time, throws to the sideline. It's complete to Travaris Robinson, and he's knocked out of bounds. The 3rd first down play for Robinson in this drive. Pick up a 14 yards there, and Heath Evans supplies a solid block.
See, Ronnie Daniels runs a crossing route, and he clears out all of the coverage. Watch as you're going to see. Ronnie Daniels is going to come from the left of your screen. Here comes the coverage. Now watch. It's single coverage. Leard able to get the ball man for man. Great route by Robinson. There's absolutely nothing Harris can do. You saw Leard almost fall down. Had the poise to deliver the ball on the money. Great job by 14.
You can almost sense the confidence Auburn is picking up as they move down the field. Robinson now has 3 catches for 34 yards. They dump it into the flat to Ronnie Daniels. And Daniels is brought down just shy of the 5-yard line after a pickup of 19. And the Auburn passing game clicking on all cylinders.
Steve, either Daniels' man got picked or he was just able to run away from him. Watch Harris in coverage here. He just doesn't come with him. He doesn't come with him. Daniels does a great job of negotiating his way through traffic. And at 6'1" and about 215 pounds, he is a load to bring down. A lot of yards after the catch for number 25.
1st and goal now from the 5-yard line for this Auburn offense. Off the play action, Laird to throw. Got a man, but only a pickup of 1 on the play. Hits the tight end Lorenzo Diamond on the play.
Last week, Diamond had a 58-yard catch against Central Florida. And don't forget, Tommy Tuberville really uses his tight end, and Leard has been pushing all the right buttons up to this point. Steve, the only thing that I can recall offhand where he was a little bit off was that one throw that he had on the up to Markeith Cooper. He's 5 for 7 for 55 yards. He's been making all the right throws.
And so he sets that school record, consecutive attempts without a pick. Congratulations to Ben Leard. Now he's looking for 6. On 2nd and goal from the 5. No gain on the completion of Diamond. Again, has time. Throws. Touchdown. Got a man. It's Clifton Robinson. Touchdown, Auburn.
Clifton Robinson runs what's called a swirl route. Steve, they've been so successful running the crossing routes. What Robinson does is he turns in like he's running the crossing route and then spins around and comes back to the outside. That's why he was so open there in the end zone, and Leard delivers it on the money.
Clifton Robinson had switched to tailback after spending a couple of seasons at wide receiver, and now is back to the receiver, and he just received that touchdown. Damon Duval pumps through the extra point. And it's an 80-yard scoring drive after the opening kickoff. Welcome home, Ben Leard. Your Tigers lead early.
Why is it that superheroes never have kids? Does changing diapers get in the way of fighting crime? Or could there be a simpler explanation? Maybe superheroes just have a hard time finding a family sedan that the bad guys won't laugh at. The Mitsubishi Galant, ranked the #1 family sedan under 20 grand by Car and Driver. Battle Evil. Bring the kids.
I will help one client succeed. Then I will help another.
I will seek answers to questions others wouldn't bother to ask.
Je n'aurai pas toujours la solution, mais je réussirai à la... I will rush to the defense of facts.
I work for JP Morgan.
I work for JP Morgan.
I work for JP Morgan.
Je travaille pour JP Morgan.
Trabajo en JP Morgan. I work for JP Morgan.
It's a freedom, adventure. It puts me at one with natural elements, liberating, allows me to clear my head. One of the few things I can do whereby I actually don't hear music in my head. Brings me closer to God. Allows me to bask in the wonder of God. Being at the top of a mountain is one of the most incredibly beautiful experiences I've ever had.
Alabama-Auburn, the Iron Bowl. This is as big as it gets in college football.
Alabama-Auburn at 7:30 next Saturday on ESPN.
I'm always entertained by the fact that afterwards you get a little bit of a conversation regarding what you just did. Hey, Robinson did it right. He's going to go in and then come back out. And, of course, after all the success of the crossing routes that they have had, he is open. Boss Bailey is certainly an outstanding linebacker, but he doesn't have the cover skills of his brother Champ, and the result is a touchdown for the Auburn Tigers.
A 14-play, 80-yard drive that takes over 6 minutes. That is the 4th drive of 80 or more yards this season for Auburn. And for the most part, that has been an aberration. That is not the way they play football. The kick is in the air from David Duval. Patrick pass. Not even a chance to let it pass over his head. And Georgia will take over.
Well, certainly the key play of the drive had to be the 4th down conversion. Take a look closely at the feet of Ben Leard. Watch his feet. He's stumbling. Look at that. He almost falls down at the last, but able to deliver the ball on the money to Tavares Robinson for the 4th down conversion. Give Tommy Tuberville credit. A lot of times coaches want to play it safe, play it by the book early on, but there's the 37-yard line, 4th down. He said, hey, let's go for it. Got some confidence in my quarterback, and he certainly came through for it.
1 for 1 on 4th in the drive, 2 for 3 on 3rd down conversions on that drive. So here's the Georgia offense, our first look at them with 8:50 left in the first quarter. And Quincy Carter screens it out to the right to Patrick Pass. He broke 1 tackle, but not another. Look at the Georgia offense now. Behind Carter, there's Pass and Jasper Sank, the 4th leading rusher in the SEC. The receivers, Terrence Edwards, a true freshman, and he's also the team's leading receiver. And the offensive line, left tackle was a question, but Jonas Jennings, his sprained foot 2 weeks ago in Florida, evidently is healed up enough. The off week really helping him. Otherwise, they would have gone with 3 freshmen on that offensive line. This brings up a 2nd and 5. Pass gets 5 off the screen play. Lone setback is Pass behind Carter. And Carter gives it to him. Pass drives left side. Spins through 1 tackle to the 40. And he's dropped to the 46-yard line. Pickup of 21 on the play before Kenny Kelly finally got to him. The Auburn defense, a front 4 that many believe is among the best units in the country. Leo Carson might be the spy guy tonight on Quincy Carter. The backers, Alex Lincoln, the former walk-on, leads the team in tackles. And the DBs, well, Rob Pate has been roving in a proper position all season long. His head coach, Tommy Tuberville, says he is due some recognition, and he gets some here on ESPN2. On the 46-yard line after the big pickup, here's Carter to throw, and some miscommunication between he and his receiver, Michael Greer. The pass ball's incomplete.
Steve, it wasn't so much miscommunication as give Auburn credit. You mentioned Pate, along with Adlai Trone, the other safety, were in the right position. Carter this year averaging over 200 yards per game. You see a very nice ratio, 12-4 in terms of touchdowns and interceptions, but there has still been some erratic play. A lot of the naysayers were complaining about his game against Florida, but let's face it, Steve, that Florida defense has done that to a lot of quarterbacks this season.
Off the incomplete pass, brings up a 2nd and 10 now from the 46-yard line. Carter, straight drop to throw. Feels the pressure, trying to get out of it. Fumble! Football's loose. Auburn has it. And it's Quentin Reese on the fumble recovery for Auburn.
Steve, there are some times when, as a quarterback, you just have to say, all right, this isn't going to happen. It's going to break down. You got to give it up. Quincy Carter tried too hard there to make something happen, and the result is disastrous for Georgia. Quincy Carter, arguably one of, if not the most mobile quarterbacks in the United States, 6'3", 220 pounds. He just drops the ball there. It wasn't so much a strip. Marcus Washington was the guy that makes the hit, but of course Reese is the one that comes up with the recovery. Big break for Auburn, setting up shop at the 30.
That's something Auburn has done very well. They turn people over. They're #1 in the SEC in turnover ratio. On 1st and 10 from the 30. Tough to get a better start for Auburn. An 80-yard drive to open the game, and a second possession starts at the Georgia 30-yard line. They hand it off to Clifton Robinson, and he probably loses one on the play. And we're set for an update. Here's Reese Davis.
Steve, we know the home team struggles in your game in that series. Not so when it's Nebraska at home against K-State. This is Darren Diedrich, third-team I-back, busting it for a touchdown. K-State hasn't beaten Nebraska and Lincoln since '68. Not going to happen today either. 34-9 in the 4th.
Let me go out on a limb here, Steve, and say that the BCS is going to be shaken up this weekend. I'm just going to say it. I know that's bold.
Going on a limb, that's right. People all over the country say, what did he just say? Here's Lear to throw. He's under pressure, and he will be sacked. Although he hangs on to the football. Charles Grant got him from his right end position.
Kevin Ramsey, the defensive coordinator for Georgia, talks about Grant in the sort of tones that you don't hear often from coaches. Very excited about his ability to come off the edge. 6'4", 265 pounds, only a freshman. There's Kevin Ramsey right there, brought over from Tennessee to be the defensive coordinator. This is a big stand for this defense, Steve. You would have thought that Auburn would at least be in field goal position, but 2 plays now, they've lost 10 yards.
Started at the 30. They're back to the 40 on 3rd and 19 now. 3 wide receivers out to the right. Here's Lear to throw. He's looking left. Now rolling to his right and throws on the run. Trying to break a couple of tackles is Marcel Willis, but he won't get enough for the first down. But in this case, it's okay.
Steve, unlike last time on 4th down and 5 at the 25-yard line, I'm thinking they're going to kick a field goal. We've got a pretty good kicker in Duval who's having a decent year. But I don't see any rumbling on the sideline. This is amazing. Well, I tell you what, the confidence in Lear is really staggering. Tommy Tuberville, man. Let's call him Gaylord, man. Kind of a riverboat gambler, I'm telling you.
They call it a 4th and 4. They were successful on their first 4th down conversion attempt. And let's see what Lear has planned here. Out of the shotgun. Lear to throw. Middle screen. Got Corvallis Robinson, and won't get the first down that time. Tim Wansley, the solid tackle, and they turn it over on down.
Wansley does a great job of staying with him, realizing where the first down marker is, and able to make the tackle. That play has been successful up to this point, but sometimes you just got to try something else. Wansley's right with him, drops him in his tracks. He was 1.5 yards short. Something interesting, too, here, Steve, with regards to the psychology of the game. If, for whatever reason, they get down to it, where they have to have a field goal late in the game, Damon Duval has to wonder to himself, the kicker on the sidelines, number 20 for Auburn, do they have confidence in me? That was a 42-yard field goal, 4th and 5. What's up?
So Georgia takes over. And here's Carter to hand it off to Patrick Pass. Tries the middle of the line. And if he got back to the line of scrimmage, he'd be fortunate. Tavares pounds on the stop.
You know, when you're in the heat of the game, Steve, those are the sorts of things that you don't really think about. But the thing is that as a kicker, you know, almost always you've got a fragile psyche. And you can see him looking around, chatting. Got the blonde hair and the earring work, and he's a happy dude. But he has to be wondering himself, what's up? Why didn't I get an opportunity here?
Maybe somebody in the crowd just said that to him as well, and he turned around. 2nd and 8, upcoming. 2 on the play, and Jenner's spot. And confusion in the secondary for Auburn. Carter, first option of the game, gives it off to pass off the option pitch. Pickup of a few, and we check in again with Reese Davis.
Steve, Washington, the only club that controls this Rose Bowl destiny, but UCLA trying to go up 6. Blocked. Chris Griffith's kick. Washington picking it up. Don't celebrate yet. Try to run it back. Steve Gleason. Lester Towns. Give it up, Lester. Give it up. Pat Conner says, I'll take it. And then they want to get it to Anthony Von Took. Oh, that's a forward lateral. Still, UCLA by 3 late.
Cal Stanford all over again. Circa 1982.
Through the band. Here's Quincy Carter now to throw, and it's batted away. Good coverage there. Terrence Edwards was the intended wide receiver. And we check in with Holly Rowe. Holly.
Guys, when the Auburn offense got on the field tonight and had a successful first drive, you can't believe how it fired up their defense. The defense has been so frustrated all season at the offense's lack of productivity, but having some success early has fired up the defense, and they're playing like it right now.
Steve, it certainly fired up Tavarius Pounds. He was the one that separated Edwards from the ball. That's very catchable, but Pounds laid a lick on him. As a result, 4th down.
Win Kopp is back to punt it away. And it's Marquise Cooper. Lets it bounce. And it will be downed at the 40-yard line after the 32-yard punt. 3:33 left here in the first quarter. And there is a flag on.
If you're ready to lose weight, muscle up.
Hey guys, what you ordering?
Same as last week.
3 extra long chili cheese conies, add jalapenos, hold the chili with ketchup and onions.
Whoa, she's good.
I know what my customers like. One-of-a-kind stuff like our extra long coney, topped with chili and lots of cheddar cheese. Get one now with Sonic's famous tater tots for only $2.79.
Sonic America's driving.
Try our new apple pie shake. Tastes just like homemade apple pie.
The countdown to the new millennium is on, and Lifetime Television, the History Channel, and Comcast Cable invite you to join them. Enter the Countdown 2000 sweepstakes. You could be the grand prize winner. We'll fly you and a guest to Rome, Italy, put you up in luxury, and help you tour some of the most historic landmarks in the world. Runners-up will receive prize merchandise from Lifetime, the History Channel, and Comcast Cable. Visit this local sponsor today and enter to win the Countdown 2000 sweepstakes.
For hoops, look no further than ESPN2.
First up, the nation's best backcourt of Scooney Penn and Michael Redd lead Ohio State against the Fighting Irish. Then at 10:30, Zona's got the answer in the front court, and his name is Michael Wright. He powers the Wildcats against Kansas State. Notre Dame, Ohio State at 8:30, Kansas State, Arizona at 10:30. The preseason NIT, Tuesday on ESPN2.
Nobody does hoops like ESPN2.
Welcome back to Athens, Georgia. A fast-moving first quarter despite all the footballs in the air. That last punt was for 32 yards by Win Kopp. Jonathan Kilgo is a freshman. He has been punting the last few weeks, but he was injured in practice, hurt his foot, and so Win Kopp has been punting. And will punt, we expect, for most of this game. Kopp was a starter a year ago and started for most of this season until he lost his job. Now the injury gives it back to him. And Clifton Robinson has the football. Try on the right side. He's out just beyond the 40-yard line.
See, that's really a pretty big deal because that was a 32-yard punt, but it rolled about 10 yards. I mean, if you're going to play the field position game, especially in a game like this, which appears to be close, that's not what you want to do.
Bring up a 2nd and 8 now from the 42-yard line. Reese mentioned how the lack of home field advantage in this series. The last home win in this series goes back to 1991. And Georgia won right here. And lots of road success. This is a 2nd and 7, they call it. 2 wide receivers to the left, and they'll hand it off to the right to Heath Evans. This is a series that has had many memorable moments. In the 1959 Georgia-Auburn game, 54,000 people filled this stadium to overflow level, the largest crowd to that date. Sir Francis, Fran Tarkenton, hit Bill Herron with a 13-yard touchdown pass on a 4th down in the final 30 seconds to lift Georgia to a win and the SEC title. That Auburn team featured 3 All-Americans, Gene Smith, Ken Rice, and Jackie Burkett.
It could have been Fran. He stayed in the pocket.
I was waiting for the scrambler to take off, but no pressure there. Here's Lear. Under some pressure, he'll scramble, and just before he's hitting, releases, and he's got a man down the sideline. It's Marquise Cooper, and he's dropped at the 10-yard line. Tim Wansley finally got to him. Big play for Auburn, goes for 46 yards.
No one is going to accuse Ben Leard of being Randall Cunningham, Steve Young, et al. In terms of scrambling, but it's a great job buying time, moving to the side, and it's asking an awful lot of the Georgia secondary to have to cover for 5 or 6 seconds. Marquise Cooper is able to find the gap, and he is dragged down to the 10-yard line. And Steve, 86,000 people here are a little bit dumbfounded.
Leard is now 9 of 11 for 123 yards. Out of the shotgun on 1st and goal from the 10. Leard to throw, and why not? Throws for the end zone, got a man! Marquise Cooper, touchdown! And it's the Ben Leard Show. 13-0, Auburn. A look at the War Eagle on the road.
Steve, it appeared that Arantis Grant, the linebacker, had Marquise Cooper in coverage, and that's certainly a mismatch. Marquise Cooper, a wide receiver type at 5'8" and about 160 pounds. Arantis Grant just can't stay with him on the out and up.
Here's Damon Duval on for the extra point. And it's all good for Auburn. They open up a 14-0 lead. Todd mentioned at the top that Ben Leard has missed part or all of 6 games this season. You can only wonder where they would be if Leard had been healthy all season. He might be a real contender with Leard, the way he has started this football game.
Well, how exciting to be able to come home and do what you did. You're going to see right here is Marquise Cooper. He runs the out and up, and of course the linebacker is the one that has to have him in coverage. Not used to somebody this quick. He takes a poor angle, and Leard able to deliver the ball on the money. You know, Steve, I'm not necessarily impressed with Leard's arm strength, and certainly not with his mobility, but what amazing poise and his accuracy. He has not thrown a bad ball yet, despite the incompletion.
And that was under some pressure. He was on the move when he threw the football. 10 of 12, 132 yards and 2 scores. We already told you in this game tonight he has set the record for most attempts without an interception. He has yet to be kicked this season. And there you see the scoring drive. And Duval is set to kick it off with a 14-0 Auburn lead. Patrick Pass and Brett Milliken are back deep for Georgia. This is a stunned Bulldog team. A line drive kick that bounces out of the end zone, and it will go for a touchback, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Here's Reese Davis.
Steve in Tuscaloosa, watch the formation for Alabama. Trips left, and it totally confuses the state secondary. Looking for the slant, and Andrews out by Shamari Buchanan. His first career touchdown, 37-yarder, the tied up late, 19-7.
Reese, thanks. Keep us posted. Reese Davis, John Makovic, back in our ESPN2 college football studio.
The Mississippi State's first loss of the year after having beaten Alabama 3 straight games coming into this one, Steve.
Tough to tell so far. Which team is 1-5 in the conference, and which team is 4-2 in the conference? Auburn with the lead. Georgia trying to get back in it with Michael Greer rumbling down the sideline, and a big pickup off the screen, good for 21 yards.
Michael Greer does a tremendous job. In the old days, when they used to run the Lombardi sweep all the time, they used to say, put your hand on the butt of the pulling guard or the pulling tackle. Take a look at what Greer does. He's right there. He waits. He waits for his tackle, John Stinson, to come out front, makes the block, able to get the extra yardage. That's heads up. Great awareness on the part of number 36, Greer. I should say pretty good speed by a tackle to get up there that quickly. course, he has a pretty good older brother that plays for the Raiders, too.
That's right. Matt was a first-round pick of the Raiders in the '99 NFL draft. He's got some good bloodlines in Georgia. Carter going to keep it. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be an option or not. Looked a little awkward. He went down to the turf.
See, what it appeared to be was what's called the Stanford option. They had Edwards coming around reverse if they were going to pitch the wide receiver going the other way. But Carter was heads up enough to see that the penetration by Auburn was too much, so he slides to the ground after having the fumble earlier. He's going to, you know, discretion will be the better part of valor for him.
Tough start to this one so far for Quincy Carter. 2 of 4, 27 yards passing, but a big fumble. Well, it turned out to not be costly outside of the field position game. Out of the shotgun, here's Carter on 2nd and 12 now to throw. And just over the linebacker's head, they say yes, a completion. Again, it's Michael Greer.
Rob Pate, the strong safety, appeared to have the pick or at least be able to deflect it. But that's the arm strength of Quincy Carter as well as the accuracy. Able to throw it over the top. Pate couldn't quite get a piece of it. The result is a first down and another nice catch by Greer. Take a look right here to the left of your screen. Watch Pate go up. Can't quite get it. Right between the 3 and the 6. Great throw by Carter.
Michael Greer missed the first 2 games of the season due to injury. Then in his best game against Kentucky, 5 catches for 66 yards. He's on his way to outdoing that game here. 9 seconds to play in the first quarter. He's got something brewing. 14-0 in favor of Auburn. Patrick passed the run there for a pickup of just about 2 on the play. And that's the way quarter number 1 will come to an end. Again, no surprise. The road team has had tremendous success in this series. And Auburn's on the road, and they are leading after 1.
To really get amongst the Australian wilderness, you can take a 4-wheel drive safari. Or a 4-legged one. Visit Australia.com. Come and say good day.
Exciting episode of...
Welcome to the age of Vega. Sony Vega, part of the Sony home entertainment universe.
1,000 years have ended. The Dark Angel is loosed from its prison.
Call your people. Find them.
Why is this happening?
End of Days. Rated R. The end is coming. Wednesday, November 24th.
FrogDog.com, your anytime, anywhere sports store. Frog Dog.
Let's be honest. There's really no such thing as a gracious winner. You might say things like nice game or shake your opponent's hand. But no matter how humble you are on the outside, deep down on the inside, you're saying, I'm better than you are. The Mitsubishi Galant, ranked the #1 family sedan under 20 grand by Car and Driver. Better than Accord or Camry. Boy, we just love saying that.
When you fly to the world's friendliest country, fly the airline with the world's warmest welcome. Air New Zealand to Australia. Round trip air, $7.99. Call 888-3AIR-NEW. Welcome aboard. Really.
Set to start quarter number 2. Steve Levy, Todd Christensen, Holly Rowe from Sanford Stadium. Better than 85,000 on hand. And we start the second quarter with 5 wide receivers in the pattern for Quincy Carter, and he doesn't care. He's taken off, and now he'll slide down to the 40-yard line. Jeff Dunlap and Haven Fields got to him.
Steve, 2 things stand out in terms of the first quarter statistics. One, obviously, is the yardage that you can see. One thing that you don't see here, however, is the number of plays, 22 to 11. Auburn had twice as many opportunities. Something I was thinking about, Steve, with Ben Leard at quarterback for Auburn. Obviously, the way their offense runs, the quarterback cannot afford the luxury of having a bad game. What would Georgia's record be right now if Quincy Carter had been out, the number of games that Leard had been out? They're so dependent upon their respective quarterbacks.
It's a fair point. Carter, completely opposite to Leard. He's making his 21st consecutive start tonight. Took a hit off that option play, but a worse hit was absorbed by Patrick Pass, who had the football.
Kenny Kelly is the one that comes up and makes the whack. But here's the thing, Steve. When you're going to run the short side option, the boundary ends up being an extra defender. That's what happened for Auburn. Kelly, an undersized linebacker. There's John Lovett, the defensive coordinator for Auburn. Picked it right there. He was very concerned about the option coming in, but thus far it has not bothered the Auburn defense.
Georgia somewhat concerned about running the option because they don't want their quarterback to get hit every single play. We spoke to Quincy Carter yesterday and said, how many times are you going to run the option? He said, hopefully none. There's a bunch of times here tonight. Punt is away. Marquise Cooper will let it bounce. And it takes a Georgia bounce, and they're able to down it to call the 10-yard line.
Steve, one thing that Auburn should be aware of at this point is that the return man, Cooper, has to be standing about the 28-yard line. This kicker cannot kick at 45 yards. That's going to help them in field position.
Coming up tomorrow night, it's the NFL on ESPN. The Denver Broncos travel to Seattle to take on John Kitna. That's right, John Kitna makes the ESPN promo. And the Seattle Seahawks, live from the Kingdome, ESPN at 8:15 Eastern. Then on ABC's Monday Night Football at 9 p.m. Eastern, the Jets will head to Foxborough. Bill Parcells and company to take on Drew Bledsoe and the New England Patriots. ESPN and ABC, the exclusive home for primetime NFL football. So Ben Leard and Auburn, they take over first and 10 from their own 10-yard line, but they do so with the comfort of a 14-0 lead. Heath Evans able to break free. Here's Evans rumbling out to the 40-yard line. Pick up a 30 on the play before Larry Mann finally tripped him up.
One of the things that Auburn needed, when they kept going with their tailbacks, they kept going with the 175, 180-pounders. Heath Evans is listed at around 230. Watch as he squares his shoulders, gets upfield. Great job at the point of attack by the offensive lineman. He's not going to go down with arm tackles. And number 44 is rumbling with some speed in the secondary. Don't be deceived by the fact that he's a big man. He can move.
6 foot 230. He considers himself a tailback in a fullback body. And now they'll operate out of the shotgun. You see the time remaining on the play clock, and they just get it off. Here's Leard under some pressure. He's got a man. He's Ronnie Daniels down the sideline to the 10, 5. Touchdown, Auburn. Beats Jeff Harris on the play, 59 yards, and the explosive Auburn offense under the direction of Ben Leard.
Steve, the thing about Ben Leard here is his composure. He sits in the pocket and waits and delivers the ball on the money. So many times young quarterbacks are going to have the happy feet. In this case, Leard did not. He delivers it right on the money. Ronnie Daniels does the rest.
Damon Duval is on to attempt his third extra point. And Duval has it. And Ronnie Daniels adds to his total. The true freshman with his 8th touchdown of the season. It's 21-0 Auburn.
ESPN Sports Century, available at bookstores now.
To test their latest parka, Mother Gert Boyle, son Tim, head for the mountains. Columbia Sportswear, one tough mother.
BarnesandNoble.com recently sent Scott Turow out with his novel to give people a chance to meet and get to know him.
Hi.
Oh, the new Scott Turow book I ordered. Thanks.
Hi. You ordered my book yesterday?
Thank you.
And I'm actually the author of the book.
Oh, the new Turow book I ordered. BarnesandNoble.com. We bring writers home.
Grandma, I quit my job.
What?
Done.
What about that rent you promised, Mark?
Internet.
Yeah?
The idea is giant, and I can work out of the house.
This house?
Yeah, I need a few things.
Data ports, meeting rooms, 24-hour business services, and catering.
What does this look like, a Holiday Inn?
Find out why more business travelers choose us over anyone else. Today's Holiday Inn.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by BarnesandNoble.com. If we don't have your book, nobody does. And by today's Holiday Inn Hotels and Resorts.
A surprise in the making. Ben Leard and Auburn find themselves with a 14-0 lead. So Georgia has yet to score. They also have yet to return a kickoff in this game. 21-0, I beg your pardon. Damon Duval.
Can you believe those numbers? My goodness.
Duval kicks it out of the end zone, and again, it's the fourth time Georgia has been unable to return the kickoff.
Charles Grant and Kendrell Bell put on the rush. They're almost on top of Lear, but he throws it just at the last minute, is able to hang in. Ronnie Daniels, with the big body, is able to fend off Jeff Harris, as you can see right here. And watch when he makes the catch. Tell me that this isn't a right hand that both Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield would envy. Pow, there's one right cross. Try it again. No, you're not going to get me. I'll tell you what, that is one strong wide receiver.
1st and 10 now from the 20. Out of the eye. Sanks and Haynes in the backfield. And the handoff is to Jasper Sanks for a pickup of maybe 1 yard on the play. Jimmy Brumbaugh on the stop.
Steve, I mentioned earlier that the 86,117 that are here in attendance were dumbfounded. Now they're mad. You can hear a smattering of boos throughout, and the pressure squarely is upon the shoulders of number 17, Quincy Carter.
Georgia has started their 4 possessions on the 20, the 22, the 20, and the 20. That's consistent field position. Consistently poor. Here's Quincy Carter to throw, steps up feeling the pressure, and he'll go down. Brumbaugh got him again, along with Marcus Washington. And here's Reese Davis.
All right, Steve, Washington and UCLA. Huskies down 3. John Anderson from 56 yards. Yes, 56 yards out, and it's good. They tied the game at 20, and they are going to overtime in the Rose Bowl. And Alabama finishes off Mississippi State 19-7. Dogs' first loss. The Tide must beat Auburn to win the SEC West, and that doesn't look easy now, does it?
Not with a healthy Ben Leard for the Tigers. Then off a loss of 4. Brings up a 3rd and 12. 2 wide receivers out to the right. Quincy Carter out of the shotgun, calling the signal. And we get a flag. Penalty marker on the field.
See, that's usually the position where the play clock may have run down. It could be a delay of game.
Ball before the snap. Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still. 3rd down.
Not only the physical mistakes, but the mental mistakes. Jim John is certainly frustrated. They're not getting the plays in quickly enough. They're not making the right decisions. Georgia needs a big play to shake themselves out of the doldrums, Steve, because right now, the understatement of this broadcast would be that Ben Leard is hot.
The Georgia offense, conversely, 15 plays, a total of 49 yards. 3rd down and 17. He got in the playbook for 3rd and 17. Carter down the sideline and nearly intercepted. Larry Casher had the tremendous coverage on Jermaine Phillips.
Jermaine Phillips has to let it go. You're down 21 points. And you have no reason to trash talk. And, of course, Casher, what are you going to say? Hey, he covered you. He turns and he's looking at the backfield. He knows he's got 3rd and 17, so Casher's measuring this interception. He knows what's coming. Just couldn't quite hang on to it. And at the end, a little bit extra is administered by Jermaine Phillips. But, of course, Casher's the winner of that battle.
He's won many battles. Casher has as many picks this season as 7 D1 teams by themselves. Here's Win Cox to punt it away from his own end zone. Marquise Cooper.
Marquise did exactly what I was talking about. He moved up 5 yards there. As a result, they're inside midfield. Great field position again for the Tigers.
They came for a new beginning. They came for the adventure.
Now, they're all here to face the challenge of a lifetime. The world's greatest lifeguards have moved to Hawaii. Join David Hasselhoff and the cast for all new episodes. Get in on the action. Baywatch Hawaii.
Check your local listings for time and station.
Are you ready for this? Kick Old Man winter in the teeth with Prestone Antifreeze, the #1 way to fight corrosion and protect your aluminum radiator to 84 below. Get in the Prestone zone so nothing can stop you now.
Yo, G, the great thing about 1-800-CALL-ATT is the rates don't bounce up and down.
For the same low rate every minute, everywhere, dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
1-800-CALL-ATT.
Smooth. This is the face of erectile dysfunction. So is this. And this. Fact is, 1 in 3 men have some form of ED, a medical condition also called impotence that affects men of every age, race, and background. What else do all these men have in common? They all faced up to their problem and got help. If you're experiencing ED, there's no need to hide your face. Just talk to your doctor. It's the best way to get educated about ED and how to treat it.
The Mississippi State defense going up against the diversified Arkansas offense. Who will be standing last?
Mississippi State, Arkansas at 9. Next Saturday on ESPN2.
Welcome back. What did you call Ben Lear before? Say he was hot? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that was bold, wasn't it?
Well, that meant the BCS standings are going to be shaken up this week. He really
a master of the obvious.
2 for 2, baby. Leard 11 of 13, $191 and 3 touchdowns, and add another completion. Clifton Robinson on the play along the sideline.
Little pressure here on the Georgia defense, as we pointed out. Ben Lear 12 of 14, making all the right decisions and very comfortable in the pocket. It's incumbent upon Georgia now to get a big play, a sack, fumble, something to change this thing around, because even though there's a lot of time left, clearly, Quincy Carter has had comebacks before. I witnessed the Peach Bowl to see Noel Mazzoni, who also is making a lot of right decisions. I'll get to that point in just a second.
Two receivers out to the left. Single setback for Ben Lear. And they will actually hand off the football that time. We should change it up a bit. It's Keith Evans. And here's Holly Rowe.
Guys, before they got on the field, the mood on the defensive sideline for Georgia was devastating. Their heads were hanging, particularly Larry Mann, their free safety, and their right corner, Jeff Harris. Both of their coaches had to come over, their position coaches, and hold their face in their hands, whisper into their ear, and try to get them back and focused into this game. They said, settle down and play. You know what you're doing. But right now, these players are definitely doubting themselves.
Well, Holly, one of the things I meant to point out is in the Peach Bowl last year, they were down 21-3 to a very good Virginia team, and Quincy Carter was able to negotiate that comeback. So, well within the realm of possibility, Georgia can come back in this one.
3rd and 5. They're 3 for 5, as you saw, on 3rd down conversion, and they won't get it off. No way. The play clock had expired, and it'll be delay a game against Auburn. A rare mistake for the Tigers offense.
I was just going to say that they seem to be doing everything right up to this point except for that.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Now, if you're a stats geek, you're one of those people sitting at home. Now, what's the difference between 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 10? Well, it's immense. I mean, it really is. It's like 30% difference. But, of course, the way Ben Leard has been throwing the ball and the way the guys have been making yards after the catch for him, certainly not unmakeable.
Penalty pushes him back 5, and 3rd and 10. Out of the shotgun, Leard will step up, got plenty of time, will throw. Man wide open, it's Keith Evans. He's got the 1st down and then some. Finally forced out by Larry Mann after the pickup of 19 yards. Another 3rd down conversion for Auburn.
See, Keith Evans just gets lost in the shuffle. You're going to see he's back there as a protector, and nobody is going to cover him. He's just going to get lost in the shuffle, and as Leard shuffles to his right, there's nobody there. No middle linebacker, no nothing. There he is wide open on the left side of the field. Certainly a mistake by the linebacking core of Georgia. And Kevin Ramsey, the defensive coordinator, has to be very frustrated with his charges.
There is Heath Evans, 230 pounds. He uses a tailback out of Miami, Florida, taking my favorite major, communication. Here's Leard off the handoff. Rusty Williams now in the backfield to carry, not much there. Fans should not be shocked that Auburn has been successful through the air. We told you at the top, these two defenses give up huge amounts of yardage through the air per game.
But thus far, it's only been the one side. I remember when Ben Leard came in as a freshman, got all this attention. I mean, he just got whacked. He was getting sacked. His numbers were just awful. He has made some big changes. You can see right there, Georgia, second in the nation, worst in allowing pass yardage per game.
Evans will take the handoff this time for a pickup of 1 or 2 on the play as we tick towards 8 minutes remaining in this first half.
Georgia has to stop him here. Force a field goal, force a fourth down, do something. Hawley intimated the fact that they were frustrated, but this isn't you can't feel sorry for yourself at this point. This is where the Georgia defense has to do something, and Noel Mazzone up to this point has certainly been pushing all the right buttons. I played against him when he was at New Mexico. Thought I'd tell you that.
What kind of player was he then?
He's all right.
Not that great, huh? You put it out there, and I took it.
QB, yeah.
Third down chance here. They're 4 for 6. Make it 4 for 7 now on third down conversions, attempting to look for Markeith Cooper.
Steve, I don't know if Damon Duvall is hurt or what the situation is, because clearly here, I mean, he has a long of 47. You can see by his kickoffs, he has plenty of leg, but for whatever reason, Tommy Tuberville just really believes that his offense can get it done. And Steve, if they were to get this first down, get inside the 20 here, this could be, although it's early, could be a knockout punch.
This is their third attempt to convert a fourth down. They are 1 for 2. This is a 4th and 5 now from the 25-yard line. 3 receivers to the right. Evans stays in the block. And he continues another block. A loose football. It's taken away by Charles Grant. And Georgia, huge defensive play.
Steve, it could have been even larger if not for Heath Evans. Remember, Charles Grant is the guy that sometimes plays fullback on offense. He's got legitimate 4.6 speed. Watch the pressure. Leard feels the pressure. There's no place to go. Ronchus Grant caves it down. There's the bat of the ball, and Grant is able to take it away. Now watch Heath Evans right at the end. He's going to cut his legs out. If he doesn't cut his legs out, Steve, Auburn is at the other end of the field. He goes the distance, and Georgia has the big play that they need to get right back in it.
Well, that conversion doesn't work in a big way. Here's Jasper Sanks off the pitch, try on the left side. Might have gotten a yard on the play. Adelaide Trone came up from the safety spot to make the tackle.
Did you see Charles Grant a little bit frustrated over his inability, rather Olandis Grant? Charles Grant is the guy on the other side, sweating, trying to catch his breath. Ben Leard finally succumbs to the wiles of the Georgia defense. What I was going to say, Steve, is I was a little disappointed in Georgia here. You get the big turnover, throw it up. You know, give it a shot. Go with the big play. Don't run wide. Jim Donnan, a great offensive mind. You see Charles Grant, 6'4", 260 pounds. Jim Donnan needs to get something going here. Needs to get in the end zone, get a field goal, get something so Georgia can feel some momentum on the offensive side of the ball.
Second down and 9. 2 receivers out to the right. They send a man in motion. That's Jermaine Phillips. Off the play action. Here's Carter to throw. Stepped up and now fires. And he well overthrew his target. Final game at Pitt Stadium. Here's Reese Davis with an update.
Steve, and the Panthers are trying to go out with a victory. It's 30-27. Under 6 minutes to go. Pittsburgh with the lead. Jarius Jackson fires. Ball pops in the air. Scott McCurley says, "I'll take that." And he heads the other way. Just over 2 minutes left to go. Pittsburgh holding on to the ball and with the lead. Nebraska opens up a can on K-State. 41-15 the final.
You and I were there a couple of weeks ago. Pretty impressive young wide receivers for that Pittsburgh team. They've got a chance to do some good things in the future.
75th year of that stadium and the final year. Incomplete pass. Looking for Michael Greer. It was a bit too low. Antoine Nolan had the coverage. Here's Holly.
Guys, right now, Adelaide Trone is out for Auburn, number 32. He's got a shaken up left knee. They've examined it. He's trying to run it off, and it looks like he will reappear in the game.
All right, Holly, thanks. Trone made the tackle and was injured on that last play. Quincy Carter now 3 of 8 for 39 yards.
Steve, we talk about the week off, and it gives people a chance to rest, and it also gives them a chance to heal up. I'm not sure that the week off isn't hurting Quincy Carter. He really looks rusty.
The punt to Markeith Cooper, and he makes the catch. And Auburn will go back to offense. So the turnover does not hurt them, and the Tigers remain with a 21-0 lead.
You can buy a car at Key Life Cars. That's right. Everyone can buy a car at Key Life Cars. We earn your business every day by offering low down payments and low interest rates. Friday and Saturday down payments are only $99 on any car we finance. That's right. If you have a job and can afford a low weekly payment, $99 down is all you need to drive away. And every week, Key Life Cars gives away $50 to one lucky visitor. Stop by and visit us and enjoy free Cokes and popcorn at Key Life Cars on Highway 53 in Calhoun.
If you want more choices with more taste, we're your buds. Where else but Sonic can you get an extra long coney? Fun has never tasted so good. You get that extra kick of chili on top, all that melted cheddar cheese. We'll even toss in those tops you love to pop for just $2.79. Now that is one tasty deal.
Sonic America, try it.
This month, don't miss our new apple pie shake. It's thick, creamy, and tastes so much like homemade apple pie. It even has bits of pie crust mixed in.
This is on my television. The #1 show in the country will be 11 p.m. Sports Center. I never miss it. In my opinion, it's the best thing going. Okay, maybe it won't hit #1, but it'll definitely give Dom and Greg a run for their money.
A very underrated defense. Darryl Gardner forces an incompletion, knocks Drew Bledsoe to the ground.
Face it, America. Situation comedy, it's a dead genre.
Late second quarter, Auburn has a 21-0 lead on a 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line. Van Leer starts under center and moves to the shotgun position. 3 wide receivers to the left as they spread the field. Lofts it down the field. Ronnie Daniels got it. He's gone. 40, 30. They take the angle and never catch him. Touchdown, Ronnie Daniels.
Steve, coming into this game, we had heard that Jamie Henderson was going to be the man on Daniels. Instead, they've had a number of different people on him. In this case, it was Corey Robinson. And I don't think Corey Robinson is a starter. He has no business being on their star player.
There is a flag on the play, but the touchdown will count. It's for the celebration after the touchdown.
Touchdown, Auburn. Dead ball fall. Non-contact ball on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Try from the 18.
Well, certainly a foolish penalty, but one that they're not going to argue about. And Ronnie Daniels is proving himself to be a big-time player. Why Georgia would continue to single up with number 25 makes no sense at all to me, Steve. Georgia opts for a blitz. They pay the price as Daniels, man for man, is able to take it the distance.
Here's Damon Duval. Now it is a 35-yard extra point. Looks good there. Van Leer, now 14 of 17, 293 yards and 4 scores.
Well, Ben Leard has exactly what he wants. He's got his best player man for man. And right there, once again, the big body, you just can't do anything with it. Corey Robinson tries, but Daniels runs right through the tackle, able to go the distance, and at the end, he does the Alvin Harper a la spike the ball over the goalpost. That's what the official calls. But as they say, no harm, no foul, extra point. Auburn up 28-0. No way, Steve. No way I would have thought that.
The number's on Leard, and it is all good. We talked about some of the screens helping his completion percentage. He's been throwing some high-risk passes, completing them as well.
To make a literary reference, Steve, which I know you'll appreciate, Thomas Wolfe is famous for his line, "You can never go home again." Tell that to Ben Leard.
Leard came in this week saying, I hope to have Larry Munson calling my name on some of the great highlights. And there is the legendary voice of Georgia, the man Leard grew up listening to. Larry Munson's been calling Bulldog football since 1966. And I'll tell you what, I'm sure Munson's could choose his highlights. 4 brilliant touchdown passes for Ben Leard. It is a career high. And it is 28-0 in favor of Auburn. Duval to kick it off. See if Georgia tries to return this one. I don't think so. And here's Holly.
Guys, there's been some Georgia students behind the hedges heckling Ben Leard all night. He was very gracious early on. He'd wink at him or smile. But after this last touchdown pass, he ran straight over to the students, pointed in their face, and said, "Hey, y'all, are you Auburn fans yet?"
My feeling on that, Steve, success is the best revenge.
Yeah.
4 touchdowns and 293 yards speaks volumes. Even if you could elocute like Dick Cavett, it doesn't matter. The way he's performing, that says it all.
Leard has been brilliant. Daniels great. Guys are making plays for him. And Georgia's accomplished only 50 net yards on offense. Make it maybe 52 yards after that pitch. Tonight, there's more great college football for you on ESPN in about some 20 minutes from now at 7:30 Eastern. 19th ranked Miami will take on Michael Vick and number 2 Virginia Tech, the biggest game of the Big East this season. And over on ESPN2 right here following our game, Dusty Bonner and Kentucky. They'll take on Vanderbilt live from Nashville. ESPN, you're home for bowl week, and that game might just about be for a bowl appearance.
And give Woody Widenhofer his props down in Vanderbilt. Former defensive coordinator, defensive line coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Done a great job down there in Nashville.
Here's Carter now to throw with tons of time. Hits a man coming across the middle. It's Terrence Edwards, and he is out of bounds at the 38-yard line after the 16-yard pickup.
The fake option was able to take away some of the pass rush of Auburn, and that afforded him to have as much time as he wanted. Edwards cutting across the field. He came on as a bang, a freshman. Very first game against Utah State, had 10 catches for 195 yards. He has been the go-to guy for Georgia.
Quincy Carter came into this game third in the SEC in passing and in total offense. There's another figure to take a dip. It's only Georgia's 4th first down. And they've got another. Make it 5. Football is loose. And let's see. Auburn's got it. Adlai Trone, who Holly mentioned was shaken up and injured before, he comes up with a fumble recovery, and it's all going right for Auburn.
Like so many other wide receivers and defensive backs in college football, Terrence Edwards is a converted quarterback. So sometimes you don't quite have a feel for things. Take a look at the catch, excuse me. Jermaine Phillips on the catch. Now at this point he needs to put it away. Instead he is separated from the ball, and the result Trone is able to come up with, but Creighton is the one who separates him from the ball. Nice play by Rodney Creighton.
Auburn has been so successful passing. I was going to say to run a little bit to keep the clock moving, but they've been completing all their passes. So the clock has been moving. There's Heath Evans as they run up the middle. Richard Seymour made the tackle.
See, that may not seem like a big deal, but Auburn has rushed for 40 yards. And the 30-yard run by Heath Evans earlier in the game, that was the longest run of the season for the Auburn Tigers. Everything is going the Tigers' way here in the first half.
Evans, his last 2 games prior to this one, at 39 carries for 149 yards. In the 12 previous games to that, he had just 69 yards rushing. Coach Tommy Tuberville said he's making things happen the last 2 games. We'll make it 3 games now. Evans will try it again, bouncing off tacklers there, getting some of the tough yards as we move to under 5 minutes left here.
That was the operative phrase, Steve, that you said, getting some of the tough yards. Before, when you have the 180-pound tailbacks, they're guys that every now and then can bounce to the outside and might get you a big play. But you got to establish yourself between the tackles. Number 44 appears to be the man who is doing just that.
3rd down and long 2. Brings up 3rd down, and they say a long 2. And there you see Auburn tonight, 4 for 7. Something they haven't been particularly good at all season, but tonight rather effective. Although what hasn't worked so far for the Tigers here tonight? 2 wide receivers split out to each side, complete to Daniels, and he is very close to the 1st down, and there's a flag on the field as well.
Naturally roughing the passer. Finally gets so close to him. It's not going well for Georgia at all.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense. 15 yards, end of the run. 1st down.
You overheard the referee say 93. Richard Seymour is the guilty culprit. Jim Donnan trying to excite some people, try to keep some people in the game. Seymour frustrated. He's going to come out, and my guess is get an earful.
Seymour's the guy they've been pumping for All-America status. And the guy we mentioned earlier is admitted this week thinking about the NFL draft and maybe coming out early. He's coming out early right now. He's on the sideline. On 1st and 10 after the penalty. Here's Laird to throw. Pops it up in the air and tried to allow Marquise Cooper to run underneath. Just a bit too much air on that throw.
Same play that he ran for the touchdown when they were down on the goal line, but a little bit too much space and a little bit too much air, as you pointed out.
Only Laird's 4th incompletion of the night so far, and he's thrown a ton. He's put the ball up 19 times. 15 and 19 for 296. Looks like he's playing with a smile on his face. The young man enjoying himself, and why not? A career high here in the first half. 4 touchdowns in his return. Ben Laird from 40 miles away from here, Hartwell, Georgia. You can feel that the offense is oozing with confidence. Here's Laird to throw. Off his back foot, completes to Cooper. Not much after the catch. Plenty, though, with Reese Davis.
Steve Washington's first trip to the Rose Bowl might cost him one in January. In overtime, Chris Griffith for UCLA. Ball game 23-20, and just like that, Stanford back in the Rose Bowl driver's seat for the Pac-10. And the final game at Pitt Stadium, and the Panthers win it 37-27. Both teams now 5-5. The goalposts are down.
All right, Reese, thanks. Pitt will play at Three Rivers Stadium next season, and then moving to their brand new stadium, going with the Steelers the season after that. Here's Laird to throw, and that would appear to be some miscommunication with his wide receiver, Reggie Worthy.
Reggie Worthy had man, and Ben Laird was thinking that he was going to go up. He said Worthy runs the 5-step hitch route, and the ball is already gone. That's definitely... here's another mask the obvious. I think that's a timing route.
Brings up a 4th down. What do you do?
Oh, gee, this is a big decision. They're going for it.
Unbelievable. This is fun football when you're up 28-0. There you see the man who is calling for his 4th down conversion attempt. Laird from the shotgun to throw. Gets the pressure. Got a man. It's Daniels. He's got the 1st down, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
Steve, I'm trying hard to think of a wide receiver in college football who, after he gets the ball, is as powerful as Ronnie Daniels. Certainly Peter Warrick is somebody who's a little shiftier, maybe a little bit quicker, but when 25 gets the ball, you've got to come with the load. He's faster than a linebacker, tougher than a defensive back, and you can see right there he just punishes Harris with the forearm. The rights are working for Daniels tonight. You can see the huge numbers number 25 is putting up.
Hey, he is a true freshman, but keep in mind he is 23 years old. Played 3 years in the Montreal Expos baseball system. And that would explain it. 23-year-old freshman, at least part of it anyway. Here's Laird throwing. Complete to Marquise Cooper. Picks up about halfway to another 1st down. Larry Mann on the tackle.
Let me go way out on a limb once again to say that if Ronnie Daniels has to decide between baseball and football, I think he'd be leaning towards the latter, wouldn't you?
I would think so. Besides, it's tough to play for the Expos. They don't draw a whole lot of the Big O. The tax problem up in Canada. Total yards tonight. Auburn is heavy advantage. Laird is up to 316 yards passing of that 362. And he's got 3 receivers to the left. Now, if he was in the Yankee system, we could have a discussion. Here's Evans now for a yard or 2.
Spoken like a true New Yorker.
This is going to be shocking, 28-0 when this score is flashed around the country prior to the half, no matter what you say. However, keep in mind, the road team has been so successful in this series. In fact, Auburn has won 6 of their last 7 trips here to Sanford Stadium, and it's not one way. I mean, Georgia's been very successful at Jordan-Hare as well. Even with that said, this still is shocking.
Yeah.
The road team up 28-0.
A way to try and mollify it a little bit.
And Laird will call timeout. And we'll step out. Minute 36 to play. Here in the first half, a first half owned by Auburn.
A thought for those of you married to your job. Every once in a while, have a fling. with your wife. Royal Caribbean, like no vacation on earth.
We're the Firestorm Cordless Combo Pack. We're the toughest tag team in the history of tools. I'm the Firestorm Drill. I've got a 2-speed gearbox for higher torque, so I pack a bigger punch.
I'm the Firestorm Saw. I'm the only cordless saw with a sightline window, so I stay online as I cut wood to pieces.
That's right, folks. If you're hungry for power, chow down. Because we're the Firestorm Cordless Combo Pack.
We are built by Black & Decker.
Well, I live out here on a little old farm, and we have a few cows. I got a pickup, 2 tractors, 1 mower, and a little old boat. Got every start batteries in every one of them, except my cow. One in that old pickup's been in there over 4 years. Starts right up every morning.
EverStart. All the cold cranking power you'll ever need.
No matter if it's 100 degrees or 0 outside. Starts every time.
EverStart. The name says it all.
My advice is to go to Walmart and get you an EverStart. Get on down the road.
It's a stunned Sanford Stadium. Along with Todd Christensen and Holly Rowe, Steve Reedy, ESPN College Football for you. Thanks for taking time out of your busy Saturday night to be with us on ESPN2. This is a 3rd and 4 play for Ben Leard. Leard to throw. Got a man. No surprise, it's Daniels. And he is brought down inside the 5-yard line. Pickup of 10 on the play.
Steve, when you're 215 pounds and things are going your way, you're not afraid to go over the middle. This is a great catch. He takes the 3 steps and cuts across on the side. Makes the hand catch, extends himself. Not afraid to take the collisions because, quite frankly, in honoring the late Walter Payton, who said, I'm the one that will deliver the blow. Hence the reason why all the stiff arms and the forearms. Number 25, Randy Daniels, is finding suit today. He's doing the exact same thing.
6 catches, 180 yards. He's averaging 30 yards per catch. That was a shorty, a quickie for him. Just pick up a 10 on that play. 1st and goal now from the 4. They get the play off. And Leard will throw. He takes the hit. He was hit hard down to the turf after releasing. It goes as an incomplete pass. Bruce Adrian had the pressure on Leard.
Jack Schweiger, the tight end, who actually was open, but because of the pressure, Leard had to get rid of it quickly. Misdirection, counter boot, throws the ball quickly, and he is dropped. Over 300 yards in 1 half alone. I don't think in his wildest dreams he could have imagined this.
We told you about all the time Leard has missed. Well, he missed most of it due to a shoulder injury. Came back against Arkansas. He had to be taken off the field on a stretcher after being hit. Suffering from a concussion. That's why he did not play a week ago. But man, if he ever playing tonight, he's going to be hit again. Football is loose. Looks like it is picked up, though.
Charles Grant, once again, with the great speed on the outside, gets to him. I'm not sure his arm hadn't gone forward, but Heath Evans was smart enough to pick up the ball. Now, if Auburn is smart, what they're going to do here is just let the clock run down, try one more play, see if they can throw it into the end zone, and then kick a field goal. Don't give Georgia any opportunity with the ball before the half is over. Well, I'd say kick a field goal. I mean, that's what most teams do.
Not so far here tonight. They've attempted 4 4th down conversions, and they haven't been 4th and 1 and 4th and inches either. Here's a 3rd and goal now from the 11. Leard to throw, and he's got a man. Well, they say the ball looked like it was knocked away. Let's see if they rule it a catch or not.
Oh, they give him the catch. They give him the catch, and now they call timeout. No, timeout was called. It did not run out.
Reggie Worthy was the receiver. It was knocked away after the fact, evidently.
They were heads up enough to call it. And so what's going to happen, at least as best I can tell, Auburn is going to have the football. Georgia's trying to run off the field, but clearly, Steve, they called timeout well before the horn sounded. Tommy Tuberville's not very happy about it. He knows. He knows differently.
The Georgia players have all headed for the tunnel. Auburn is staying up. The band is on the field now.
This is completely a hometown situation. There's 2 seconds remaining. The referee had the right call. Yeah. And I'm telling you what, on the 1-yard line, I don't think they're going to kick a field goal. I still think they're going to go for it. Tommy Tuberville's not very happy. Is the Auburn should have known better. They should have said, no, let's give ourselves another chance. Georgia, you understand, right? But the visiting band doesn't want to do this. And sure enough, 2 seconds is back on the clock.
Good calls by the officials.
It really was. Not getting caught up in it.
There are the players streaming back onto the field.
for
Georgia.
They had the right idea with the drift to the exit, seeing if they could influence the officials.
If I'm down 28-0, I want to get to the locker room as quickly as possible.
But let's give credit to Rom Gilbert, the referee, who knew better. Got the timeout, knew there was 2 seconds left. And what's Auburn going to do here, Steve?
Well,
they're going for it. I know they're going to go for it. What are they going to call?
I would go with a pass play. The way Leard has been so effective. Wait a second.
No way.
Here's an odd sighting. It's actually the place kicker.
Can't be. Can't be.
Damon Duval is on the field.
Nah.
A rare sighting tonight. In case you're just joining us, they have gone for so many fourth down conversions.
Is there any way they're going to fake it, an 18-yard field goal?
Duval has caught a touchdown, by the way, on a fake. Here's a 17-yard field goal attempt, we believe. And he kicks it away, and it is good. Now the horn sounds for real. Ben Leard, a brilliant first half, includes 4 touchdown passes. It's 31-0 in favor of War Eagle. Here's Reese Davis.
A tremendous first-half performance by Auburn and a statement for the SEC West against the other half of the league. Would the Hogs be able to do the same against the Vols? We're coming back after this.
Let's see some D, D, D.
Log on to dsports.com, the ultimate online sporting goods store. dsports.com. Seize the D.
Mom, Dad, if I'm paying rent, I gotta have a better breakfast than this.
Mark.
I know there's some dietary restrictions at the table, but no way.
What would you like, Mark?
Potato, sausage, eggs.
Would you like me to serve that to you in a nice warm skillet?
That would be great.
What does this look like? A Holiday Inn?
Want a better breakfast? Try our award-winning Best for Breakfast menu at today's Holiday Inn.
From the acclaimed director of Sense and Sensibility and The Ice Storm comes a provocative vision of a conflict that was never as simple as blue and gray.
What kind of liberty is it that takes away the liberty of others?
Tobey Maguire, Skeet Ulrich, Jewel, Jeffrey Wright. Ride with the Devil. Rated R. Starts Wednesday, November 24th in select theaters.
Glad to have you with us on the halftime report. Reese Davis along with John Makovic. Tennessee last week after its win over Notre Dame moved to number 2 in the BCS rankings, had to go on the road against Arkansas. Hogs wanting some revenge for what happened last year, that late Clint Sterner fumble. Second quarter, T. Martin doing it with his feet, John.
Yeah, watch him go and around. T. Martin did not have the kind of game Tennessee needed today. He was involved with only 1 touchdown.
It was his 15th career, 17-14 balls. It's 24-14 now, and Sterner goes to work. Finding Boo Williams down the side, 53 yards. Hogs within 3, 24-21. Fourth quarter, the Hogs on the move again. And Anthony Lucas, who's owned Tennessee.
An average of 7 points. Not tonight, not so far. As we get you set for third quarter action. Welcome back, everyone, to Athens, Georgia. Steve Levy along with Todd Christensen. Thoughts from Holly Rowe in just a little bit. The story has been the quarterback, Ben Leard, in his return home.
Well, there should be a quarterback comparison, but there is no comparison. Clearly, Leard has had the best of this. He's just put out astonishing numbers, as you can see. Carter hasn't been bad, but he just hasn't been nearly as effective as Leard, who has done everything right, throwing for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in 1 half alone. Now, are they going to go into shell and run out the clock and give Carter an opportunity? That remains to be seen. Tuberville, up to this point, has been anything but conservative.
Set for the second half kickoff. Damon Duval is set to kick it away. Brett Milliken and Tim Wansley deep to receive for Georgia. They have yet to return a kick, and it's unlikely they'll return this one. A flag as it is kicked out of bounds. Here's Holly Rowe.
Gentlemen, Jim Donnan told his team at halftime they've got to start over here in the second half. He's particularly worried about how much Auburn's offense is on the field. He says, our offense has to make some plays and stay out there. And Tommy Tuberville, Todd, I asked him your question, why didn't he go for any of those field goals early in the first half? He said, Holly, we ain't got nothing to lose. We're hanging all out. You saw us play 2 weeks ago. We're not a good team. We ain't got nothing to lose.
You mean he said ain't? Doggone it, Holly. What have I told you about your elocution?
You just said doggone it. Here's a chance for Carter. Completes the pass to Randy McMichael, the tight end. And so Georgia starts better in the second half than they did the first half.
The stats aren't lying in the first half, that is for sure. As Jim Don had pointed out, there are too many offensive plays, and here's something that you would have never thought, and maybe it's not that big a deal. Time of possession, Auburn, more than 2-1, and of course the 40 yards rushing. You say, Todd, what's the big deal, 40 yards rushing? Don't forget, this is a team that averages less than 70 for an entire game.
Georgia trying to run the ball with Jasper Sanks, he's got a burst there, and he's across midfield.
Steve, Jasper Sanks, the leading rusher coming into this game for Georgia, right around 700 yards. He had 300-yard games earlier in the season, but that's not a name we called very much in the first half. Only 3 carries, I think.
He was the first Georgia running back to do that, Todd. 3 consecutive 100-yard games since Garrison first did it back in '92. And there you see what he's looking at so far tonight. Here's Carter to throw on 1st and 10. Under pressure, and he throws it away.
Once again, that front 7 for Auburn putting some pressure on Carter. 6 of the 7 members of the front 7 for Auburn are seniors. So they've been around the block, and I'm thinking that during a struggling season that they have had up to this point, this has to be tremendously satisfying for that Tiger front 7.
It's a defense that really has played well throughout when the offense has not been able to pick them up. However, a week ago, we talked to John Lovett, the defensive coordinator, and he said when the defense saw the offense scoring against Central Florida, it lifted everyone's spirit. The defense has been doing their job and then some, and the offense has not been contributing. It's not until last week, and here tonight, doing more than their fair share. Screen of Thad Parker along the left side. He's just past the 45-yard line.
It's interesting how those things mushroom, Steve, because you can see now in the body language of Auburn flying all over the field, making tackles, no arm tackles, shoulders and heads are in there. They're going after Georgia. They sense the kill.
The Auburn offense, they have 31 points at halftime. Only once this season have they scored more than 31 in an entire game, and that was when they put up 41 points at Baton Rouge against LSU.
Steve, as you pointed out, when they score 20 points earlier, they've won every time.
Try the left side for Michael Greer, the receiver, and it looks like he is just shy of that first down marker.
Pretty good lick by Haven Fields to drop in there, and I'm thinking 4th down here, Steve, there is no real decision. Georgia's going to have to go for it, down 31 zip.
Marty tells me that Georgia has never trailed at the half by as many as 31, as in never, ever.
Well, there's always a... never mind.
Uncharted waters here. And they certainly did not expect to be trailing by 31 at the break for one of their arch rivals.
They got a lot of the field to work with. An option might be interesting.
Caught 4th and 2. Carter, the option, and it's Todd correctly called, but it's incorrectly run. They're short of the first down marker. There is a flag on the play.
The flag is going to be holding on the tight end, and Auburn is going to get the stop that they wanted. It's going to be turned over to the Tigers. They'll refuse it.
Marcus Washington came up to make the stop on Jasper Sanks off the option.
Holding on the offense, penalty decline, first down.
Here's Holly.
Gentlemen, in a rivalry game, you know how crazy the crowd can get, but Auburn's early success has not only taken the Georgia crowd out of this, but they have actually turned on their team. People are coming down from the stands behind the hedges and screaming at the players what an embarrassment they are and that they better do a better job representing Georgia.
This is serious football country. This is not just another game. No such thing in the SEC. Here's Benlier to throw. First pass of the second half is tipped, and it's down to the ground. Charles Grant made the good contact. He's been one of the better Georgia defensive players tonight.
You know, coming into this game, as you pointed out, Steve, they were 6-2 and talking about winning out in their last 3 games. But Georgia actually got breaks a few times. Central Florida missed extra point, the reason for that win. LSU, of course, there was a 2-point conversion at the end. They didn't quite convert. And at Vanderbilt, they're down 17-0 in the middle of the 3rd quarter. So maybe the fact that Georgia was able to get away with it early has caught up to them. Certainly tonight, Auburn has proven them not as good as their ranking.
The 2 or 3 plays that Auburn says they might be away from the 63 or so, might look the other way as well. Another big completion to who else? Daniels, and he breaks free, trying to break through another tackle. He's down to the 5, and they finally drag him down to the 3-yard line, and they are cheering like wild in that particular section for Auburn. 57 yards on the play for Ronnie Daniels.
Ronnie Daniels, Steve, is able to get away with just a little bit of a shove. But when was the last time you saw a wide receiver? Just at the end of the play, he shoves up. But when was the last time a wide receiver was able to break this many tackles? 1, 2, 3, a 3rd tackle. Now he's still on his feet. Same guy comes back. 4, got a hold of him, spinning around. All of the red shirts that have to drag down Ronnie Daniels. I know this is going to date me a little bit, but he reminds me a little bit. You remember Otis Taylor, the great wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs, and Charlie Taylor before that with the Redskins. Tough guys to bring down.
Saw the numbers on Daniels. He's 6'1", 205. He's playing much bigger than that.
No, he's not 205. Come on, man.
You're not buying that? That's what it says in the media, guys.
You've been watching too much hockey. That guy's got to be 215. In fact, I asked Tommy Tuberville if that was right, and he said, well, depending upon lunch, he says number 25 could be around 215 pounds.
Heath Evans is the ball carrier there.
You pointed out the fact that he's 23 years of age. Yeah. That, too, has to be an advantage because this truly is a man among boys.
And he's putting on a show coast to coast on ESPN2. 31-0, and Auburn looking for more. On 2nd and goal from the 1. To the tight end in motion. And they get another touchdown. Leared the keeper, and I'm sure he wanted that one for himself.
Well, under that vaunted statistic, Steve, touchdowns responsible for. Now he can say he's responsible for 5 of those touchdowns.
4 through the air, 1 on the ground. The 4 passing touchdowns for Lear. That ties the all-time Auburn record.
And as you pointed out earlier, you made a very cogent comment, that being the fact that the pundits now after this game, particularly there in southeast Alabama, are going to say, what if? Yeah, what if?
Duval, the extra point, and he's got that one too. 60 yards in only 4 plays. All Auburn in the first half, and it starts that way here in the second as well.
Monday Night Countdown at 7 on ESPN.
Same room as last year.
Feels like I have the same cold, stuffy, sneezing, fever. Last time, up all night.
How could I focus at 6 a.m.?
Try NyQuil. I'll feel better, even with a monster cold.
With NyQuil Relief, you can rest. And when you wake up...
Good luck, laddie.
NyQuil. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy, head fever, so you can rest and have a good morning medicine.
Let's see some D.
Log on to dsports.com, the ultimate online sporting goods store. dsports.com. C's with D.
Every time I call, you're on the phone. Who are you talking to?
Friends, family, people I don't see that much.
Phone bills must be killing you.
No, I dialed 10-10-321. It's only 8 cents a minute for calls over 10 minutes. That's 50% off.
Talk as long as you want with 10-10-321.
2 of my agents are missing. Fox Mulder and Dana Scully.
An unseen adventure with a difference. You solve it. Now available on the PlayStation game console.
Back in Athens, Georgia. And that just about says it all as we're early on in the 3rd quarter. 38-0 Auburn.
What could Heath Evans possibly be telling him? You know what? It would be like a guy throwing a no-hitter in baseball. Leave him alone. Everything he's doing is exactly right. Don't tell him a thing. Number 14 is golden this evening.
David Duval will kick it away. He's put every single kickoff in the end zone. This one 2 yards deep in the end zone. Landry will carry it out. This is the first time Georgia has been able to run back a kickoff. And they start just shy of the 20.
Well, to use an adjective of my old buddy Matt Millen, Ronnie Daniels is a stud ball. He looks to the left, jumps up, makes the catch. There's a right cross. There's a Peyton stiff arm. He goes the distance. Same situation at the other side, jumps up. That's just too big of a body to arm tackle. Once again, another long play. And the one you just saw, what's the subtle little push that he's able to get away with, and he continues to break tackles heading down. Steve, you pointed out at the top of the show the yards after the catch. Ronnie Daniels has more than 150 yards after the catch on his reception. 7 for 237 yards. Averaging 34 yards a catch. Wow.
He's getting hot at the right time. I mean, last week had a career game. It was against Central Florida, but still a career game. 10 catches, 143 yards. And he has blown those numbers away against a much better opponent like Georgia here tonight.
Gee, I guess that Auburn-Alabama game might be a little interesting next week, huh?
Good. That first carry was for Saints, and he picked up 2 on the play. On second down, Quincy Carter completes the pass for a gain of maybe 3 on the play. It's Randy McMichael, the tight end.
Holly pointed out how excited the Auburn defense was. David Duval, I guess they don't need me. I guess I want to have that clutch field goal at the end with the score 38-0. So I'm hanging out with my buddies.
We were worried about his confidence when the coach elected not to kick on his 4th down. You know, late in the game, that confidence could be shaken.
Yeah, right.
His kickoff, he's been great on kickoffs tonight.
Oh, he has. And he's had his chance to do a bunch of those.
Quincy Carter and Georgia, they never figured to be in this early and close to this kind of situation. Carter running for his life, able to complete the pass for a first down. Thad Parker on the receiving end, picked up a 10 on the play.
Well, as you pointed out, it may be a designated rollout, but that wasn't exactly how it was planned. As you pointed out, running for his life, the Auburn defensive people just are really going after it. And they're doing a nice job. This is the other thing that John Lovett has done a nice job with. He's interchanging a number of defensive linemen and linebackers, keeping them fresh.
Making this more embarrassing for Georgia here at home is just a senior night. Around all those senior players and team managers and all those who have assisted the team. In front of all those people and their families, they're seeing this. Quincy Carter finally goes over 100 yards through the air tonight. They're still looking for points. First flag on the field.
Ball before the snap. False infraction. On the snapper. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
This reminder, coming up tomorrow, women's NCAA basketball action. It's the 1999 State Farm Tip-Off Classic. On ESPN2 at 1 Eastern, Summer Irv and 18th-ranked NC State will take on 3rd-ranked Rutgers in Knoxville. Then on ESPN at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, Louisiana Tech will battle Tamika Catchings and the number 2 Lady Vols of Tennessee. That's tomorrow. Women's hoops just around the corner. Here's Carter, turns around and throws with a man in his face, able to complete it to Terrence Edwards, and he's close to another first down. This is not going to get them back in the football game, however, these dink and dunk for 7 or 8 yards.
Interesting, though, that this is off the subject a little bit. When you showed the promo of basketball and I saw Rutgers, I thought, did you see the highlights of them beating Syracuse? How excited.
What an up-and-down season for Syracuse.
Really has been.
Wow.
I'm happy for Coach Shea, though. He's done some good things there. That's a tough recruit, tough place. And needless to say, they're in a very difficult conference.
Georgia on the carry with Jasper Spence. Looks like he has enough for the first down.
Well, while there's been a little bit of a drift to the exits, thank goodness those with the letters have stayed. Is that what they mean here when they say that he's a man of letters?
I don't believe so.
Oh, okay.
Those are the kind you sew on your sweater. Some of the fans, some of the 86,000 heading for the exits here, although many have remained, that's just quite a statement. Pretty impressive. In the third quarter, down 38-0. Here's Carter. Handoff to Sanks. And he moves it ahead out to about the 45-yard line. Pick up a 7. A credit to the fans here. They're hanging around. Maybe they think they're going to see the greatest. After a Georgia comeback, Sullivan would connect again, this time with Dick Small for the final points in a 35-20 Auburn win, and Pat Sullivan would win the 71 Heisman Trophy. Auburn won that game 45-20. Here's Carter throws, got him incomplete. 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Terrence Edwards. And Georgia is on the board, a 40-yard touchdown play.
Terrence Edwards on the deep in route, and Quincy Carter is able to get it over the top of the linebackers for Georgia's initial score.
You know, I said these fans might be hanging around for a Georgia comeback, and here we go. See if they can cut into it some more. Make it 31-point deficit. Top Hines on for the extra point. And he's got it. Carter on that drive, heating up just a bit. 404 for 66 yards and 6. Georgia's on the board.
Get up, get down. Hang tight, hang loose.
It's been said that moderation is the key to happiness. We don't know who said it, but we know it wasn't someone from Australia. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Looking for a wireless phone is enough to make your head spin. Analog, PCS, calling areas, night minutes, weekend minutes. Then I went to Circuit City. They helped me find a great phone and the perfect rate plan.
Right now, you'll get a $40 Circuit City gift card free with any wireless phone purchase. And you'll get a free 900 megahertz cordless phone after mail-in rebate when you buy select Nokia phones, a $30 value. Let Circuit City clear the air on wireless phones today.
This is sacred ground. This ranch has been in the Stevens family for 75 years. I know. I've helped 3 generations hold on to it.
Tom Rose, AXA Advisors.
The only way to keep a business successful and in the family is with smart planning.
AXA Advisors, part of a global company helping 40 million people.
It's tough out here. The weather, beef prices, and there's an uncle named Sam who always gets his cut.
AXA Advisors, building futures.
Rams and Falcons are not friends, but this is a must-see prime-time battle of backyard rivals.
Air Force, Colorado State at 8, Thursday on ESPN.
Hey, why the long face? Ouch. Ouch. That's UGA 6. Replaced the recently retired UGA 5. His dad. And UGA is watching some ugly football for Georgia tonight. Here's the kick return for Varys. Robinson's got a strong game receiving, now putting on some moves here on special teams.
Mention the fact that Carter is able to get it over the top of the linebacker. Tavarius Pounds tries to get up and get a piece of it, but he can't quite do it. Carter delivers the ball on the money, and Edwards with his speed does the rest. Carter this half, Steve, 7 for 8 for 81 yards and a touchdown. Remains to be seen whether or not this is too little too late, however. And of course, one of the things with that touchdown, Steve, it guarantees is that it keeps Ben Leard and the starters in the game. I was thinking to myself, 38-0. Right. They might I mean, he has had some injuries, right?
Yes, he has. Remember, missing part or all 6 games so far this season. Motion on the, looks like the defensive line, unless they were drawn off. We'll see. Marcus Stroud across the line.
Once again, what were they looking for? Ronnie Daniels, man for man.
Ball before the snap. Offside. By the defense. Made contact. 5 yards. Still first down.
Stroud, the guilty party. Here's Holly.
Standing by with a pretty proud papa, Bill Laird, and Ben has had a fantastic night. He said nothing could keep him from playing in this game. Dream come true for your son.
Yes, ma'am. He's always wanted to play in it, but it was disappointing. He didn't get the opportunity in a couple of years ago, and he just, this has always been his dream to play in this stadium.
How has he been able to keep a good attitude this season despite all the injuries and the concussions?
He kind of got down a little bit last on the concussions, and, why me and his mother told him, you don't think like that, and he's had, he's lived through a lot of adversity for a long time, and he's just been able to keep it up, and know that the team had a lot of confidence in him, and I think his coach had confidence in him and knew he could come back and play.
How did you keep him from being so nervous before the game? He seems very composed, and he's played that way.
Well, he talked to me Wednesday night, said he didn't know if he was really excited or nervous, and I hope he wouldn't be just extremely excited and not keep the game plan. But as it went on in the week, the coaches must have done a great job of keeping them focused, and it just appeared that he really was focused tonight. But over the first of the week, he was really excited, I think.
All right. Well, thank you very much for sharing this enjoyment with us. Back to you guys.
Holly, Mr. Leard, thank you. Ben has been focused tonight. 21 of 28, 393 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no picks. And get this, he is now 1 yard short of tying Auburn's record for passing yards in a single game.
I'm going to be bold here.
Think he gets it? You're unbelievable tonight.
I tell you what, that was so pleasurable, Holly's interview with Mr. Leard. I so look forward to that next fall when my son comes back from Spain and plays football. That's a proud father, and justifiably so. Never mind the numbers, the fact his composure, so many things against him, 86,000 people cheering against him. He had said some things during the week. I think he was just genuinely excited over the prospect of coming back home to play, but Georgia supposedly used it, Steve, as bulletin board material, but needless to say, it didn't faze him one bit.
Tommy Tuberville told us about Leard. He said he's got a great mind for a quarterback, which is a pretty good-sized compliment. You always hear about the tools and the athletic ability, but you rarely hear about the mind of a quarterback. That time they handed off to Rusty Williams. They have gone exclusively to the ground game the last few plays. Here's Reese Davis.
Steve, 2 unbeatens have already gone down. Virginia Tech and Miami. First quarter Canes up 3-0. Kenny Kelly, a dart in there to Andre King. And look at the Hurricanes on top of the Hokies, 10-0. Still early, though.
All right, Reese, thank you. First down. Ball at the 43. 3 wide receivers out to the left is Ben Leard. And he'll hand off the ball to Rusty Williams. Not much there. Williams stopped for a loss at back of the 45. Aranthus Grant gun. Here's Holly.
Guys, we didn't get to see Kathy Leard, Ben's mom, on camera. But let me tell you this. She is so nervous watching her son play that she just will close her eyes sometimes, not even watch the plays, and have someone next to her describe it. She couldn't even go to the games last year when he was taking so much abuse and getting sacked so much. So she's here tonight, and she says she's so proud of him. She was just too shy to come down and be on camera.
Thanks, Holly. Again, the Leard family is from some 40 miles away. This is the first time Leard has ever been on the field at Sanford Stadium. It's a 2nd and 12. Leard is throwing off his back foot looking for big play Daniels. And the defense made a play. Jamie Henderson knocked it away.
You saw at the end Ronnie Daniels say longer, because he had Henderson beat by about 2 steps. Leard just a little bit short on the throw. I mentioned the fact that the last year he took a lot of abuse. Not only did he get hit, did he not know the offense, but you can see all the struggles that he had in this season by comparison. Of course, these are numbers that lead into this game. They're going to be even better after this particular game, as Ben Leard has proven himself one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC.
From 21 of 29, up to the second. Attempts and completions. Three wide receivers out to the left. Here's Leard on 3rd and long. Under pressure, throws it away. It's complete to Daniels, but he is well shy of the first down marker.
Told you he was going to get the record, didn't I? I told you he was going to get the record.
To both you, Todd, and Ben.
More to Ben, though, really.
But you were right again. Ben Leard, there you see, a new school record for a single game. And, folks, we've got 3.5 left in the 3rd quarter, although Leard is limping off now. And Sammy Mano is on. Michael Greer is deep. Mano to punt it away. Gets it off, and a fair catch is signaled by Greer. And we will step out. Georgia will come back, and they'll have the football. 1st and 10 from the 10 on a record-setting night for the Auburn Tigers.
If you want more choices with more taste, we're your buds. Where else but Sonic can you get an extra long coney? Fun has never tasted so good. You get that extra kick of chili on top, all that melted cheddar cheese. We'll even toss in those tops you love to pop for just $2.79. Now that is one tasty deal. Sonic America, Sonic America. This month, don't miss our new apple pie shake. It's thick, creamy, and tastes so much like homemade apple pie. It even has bits of pie crust mixed in.
You can buy a car at Key Life Cars. That's right. Everyone can buy a car at Key Life Cars. We earn your business every day by offering low down payments and low interest rates. Friday and Saturday down payments are only $99 on any car we finance. That's right. If you have a job and can afford a low weekly payment, $99 down is all you need to drive away. And every week, Key Life Cars gives away $50 to one lucky visitor. Stop by and visit us and enjoy free Cokes and popcorn at Key Life Cars on Highway 53 in Calhoun.
The NHL on ESPN. This is the game.
Stars Flyers at 7:30. Coyotes Kings at 10:30. Thursday on ESPN2.
Rick, this is Zen Master Koyo returning your call. I cannot ask the Buddha to help you choose a point guard for your ESPN fantasy basketball team. Let go of fantasy, the Rick. Empty your mind.
3:11 left here in the 3rd quarter, and Georgia will start for the 7th time in 9 possessions inside of their own 25-yard line. This time at the 10.
Half of the law firm of Mano y Mano brings them inside there.
Mano y Mano, the punter. They're all running. Georgia rushing the football. The draw up the middle. It's Patrick Pass breaking it, still on his feet. And he's brought down at the 30. Once again, here's Holly.
Ben Laird has been examined. His left knee is tweaked. They think he's fine. He has been up and jogging on the sideline. They're going to keep him out for a little while and just reevaluate him.
Take a look at the knee right there. Planted. It's rolled on just a little bit. Thank goodness for some flexibility, because that is 290 pounds worth of Tyrone Robertson laying on his left leg. As Holly pointed out, I saw him run a little bit too. I think he's going to be okay.
Wonderful team again in this game with a 38-7 lead and breaking records left and right. That pass is completed, but there are 2 flags on the play.
Auburn was offside, Steve, so they'll let it go. Terrence Edwards is really impressed here in the 2nd half. I mentioned earlier the fact that he was a converted quarterback. And Jim Donnan, the reason I mentioned that
Defense, penalty decline, first down.
is because Jim Donnan pointed out the fact that he has not as yet understood the nuances of the position. But there, he certainly has shown that he can make catches. The offender there, as you saw how quickly he was in, was Derek Magwood, who's the one that jumped off sides. But no matter, 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs in midfield.
Edwards' football career got off to a great start. His first career catch was a 47-yard touchdown pass from Quincy Carter. So far tonight, 4 catches for 89 yards. A guard on the basketball team here at Georgia as well. Go to Jasper Senks. Got 2 or 3.
Got a new coach he's going to have to be dealing with here, huh? Former UCLA and Rhode Island head coach Jim Herrick.
Jim Herrick, that's right. Edwards will try to get that average up in 14 games last season on the basketball court, averaging just 1.9 points per game. Here's Holly.
Standing by was kind of a famous guy, pitcher John Rocker from the Atlanta Braves. And John, you're a Georgia fan. What brings you out to college football? You support the team?
Yeah, big Georgia fan. Grew up watching the Dogs, back in the days of Herschel and stuff like that. And, once our season gets done, I like to come out and watch them play.
These are great facilities. How were you recruited to Georgia? I don't know if you ended up playing there because you went on to your professional career, but tell us about that.
Out of high school, came out and signed with the University of Georgia baseball scholarship, of course, and went to orientation, all that kind of stuff. About like 2 weeks before school started, got duped into playing with the Braves, and you know, just kind of went that route.
Duped, that worked out pretty good. Tell us a little bit about getting down early in a game like this. You know a little bit about something about attitude. How did Georgia have to fight back here with 1 quarter left to play?
It's tough for Georgia. They have to be perfect the rest of the way, and it means Auburn can, you know, take bigger risks and kind of you know, try to build their lead. And if they, you know, if they fail with those big risks, it doesn't really bad. But Georgia's got to be perfect from here on out.
All right, let's go back upstairs and we'll check back with you in just a minute.
Holly, thanks. It's not a John Rocker type game, and you bring in a closer with a 31-point lead. Terrence Edwards, the reception. Rob Pate, the tackle. And there is a flag again on the football field. Face mask. Back to Holly and John Rocker.
John, now you had an opportunity to play in the World Series. Obviously, it wasn't as successful as you might have hoped, but what are your chances for next year, and what are you doing on the offseason?
This offseason, just, you know, be working out, getting ready for next year and that kind of thing. And I actually think our chances are really good next year. We'll have, you know, 250 RBIs and about 70-something home runs back in the lineup. And so I think our offense is going to be even better. And if our pitcher stays the same, I think we'll be even stronger.
Have you taken much abuse for your attitude during the World Series? I thought it was awesome. I thought you had a lot of chutzpah out there, especially with the New York fans.
Not really too much abuse. The way I look at the people that are up there, who I don't really value their opinion too much, and I actually kind of enjoy them not liking me. Those are the kind of people I don't want to be liked by. And the people, the hometown fans, people down south where I'm from, they like me. That's the way I want it.
Okay, why not football? You kind of got a nice tight end build. You could be out there playing. Ever tempted to play football?
No, not quite fast enough. But have that. I guess my mentality is a little more geared toward the football. That's why, you know, I come off probably a little more intense than I'd like to sometimes.
Linebacker on the mound. Okay, back up to you guys.
Holly, thanks very much. John was talking about the RBIs and home runs back in the lineup. Talking about Ken Griffey Jr., you think?
I believe he was making reference to Andres Galarraga and Javi Lopez. Yeah. He's absolutely right. They're armed for bear, as they would say. Of course, I don't know what he's talking about. Steve, he's what, 99, 100 on the gun, isn't he?
That's right. The Atlanta Braves, one of the many teams interested and that can afford Ken Griffey Jr. Here's a chance, and Carter is taken down. Haven Fields put him down on the field.
John Lovett, the defensive coordinator for Auburn, talked about the fact that we see John Rocker, who did a tremendous job in the league championship series, you recall, against the Mets, as he came in and did what he was asked to do. What'll be interesting, Steve, is not simply the fact of how good Atlanta will be. Remember, Kerry Lightenberg was their closer, who missed the season because of surgery. It'll be interesting to see the competition between those two to retain the closer's position.
Pitchers and catchers just around the corner. It's amazing. The baseball season never ends. Couple of flags on the field as they complete the pass to Michael Greer as we approach the final 10 seconds of this third quarter. 38-7 Auburn in a shocker. Not that they're leading, but by the margin that they're leading by.
You know, you mentioned Ken Griffey Jr. earlier. What kind of position must you be in to be able to turn down $140 million? Wow.
Financially stable. That's the kind of position.
John Stinchcomb, right offensive tackle for Georgia. John Rocker, number 49 in the program.
On the defense. Penalties accepted. 5 yards. Previous spot. Repeat. Third down.
Georgia was about 3 yards short of the first down, so they opt instead to move the yardage back a little bit, but replay the down. And now they go the 2 tight end sets, Steve.
On the 3rd and 6 play, they will not get it off. We'll try 3rd and 6 from the 29 when we come back. But so far tonight, for the first 3 quarters, it's been Van Leer to Ronnie Daniels over and over again, giving Auburn a 38-7 lead.
In 6 days,
It's the best we have.
the wait is over. The world is yours.
James Bond is here.
I have to get back. somebody's gonna have my butt.
First things first. Why am I suddenly worried I'm not carrying enough insurance?
On November 19th, The World Is Not Enough, rated PG-13, starts Friday.
It's time to enter the world of the hard and the heavy.
It's the hardest and heaviest album ever jammed on a 2-CD set. 30 monster tracks from Rob Zombie, Fear Factory, Power Man 5000, Seven Dust, Kid Rock, Limp Bizkit, Stained, Soulfly, Static X, and Monster Magnet. It's the most metal ever hammered into a 2-CD set. Get the heaviest album ever created on 2 CDs with the hard and the heavy, available at Best Buy.
What's going on? Hey. Wow, this is nice. But I thought Stacy said if you bought new tools, she gets a new dining room set.
Yeah, she did.
So where are the table and chairs?
You're standing on them.
Fine woodworking tools from Rigid. A name proven by pros since 1923. Take our 16-gallon wet drive bag, which converts to a handheld blower in seconds. Rigid. Buy them at the Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning.
Okay, I got the ring. Finals MVP. I'm the man now. Who wants some of that? Bring it.
Meet Cyber Jordan and his backboard-banging, retina-burning Dr. Kaboom Air War Goliaths. NBA Live 2000. Big air, big hair. EA Sports. It's in the game.
AT&T. 7 cents a minute, all day, every day.
Take one of these. That'll be 25 cents.
But it says here it's a nickel.
Not for a couple of hours.
What?
Well, see, sometimes it's a nickel, but right now, it's a quarter.
It's like that long-distance nickel plan where they say it's a nickel.
Sometimes they charge you 25.
That's right.
That's where we got the idea.
Is that right?
7 cents a minute, all day, every day, even to Canada with our international plan.
You know, there are some stores that sell candy for one low price all day long.
And people like it?
Oh, they love it.
Call 1-800-41-RATE to enroll.
Back in Georgia, interesting note in the Georgia media notes, the Bulldogs are 6-0 this season under clear skies. It's clear tonight, but they're 0-2 in heavy rain. We go on to find out the opponents in the heavy rain were Tennessee and Florida. I'm not sure the weather had anything to do with it. As that pass is incomplete. Georgia, by the way, now 1-17 against those two opponents, Tennessee and Florida, in the 90s. Could have their first loss under clear skies all season here tonight.
4th and 6. One thing that I've noticed about Quincy Carter tonight, Steve, is that he's been very protective of himself. Usually, you know, last year in particular, he was really freelancing, ran the option a lot, scrambled out a lot. Tonight, he seemed to be a little bit inhibited, a little tentative.
I wonder if people are going to start being concerned about Carter. The Florida game's a week off, and now this one. It certainly has not been all on him, but he has not been brilliant until he hits a man right there. Touchdown, Terrence Edwards. His second of the game. 29 yards, second touchdown passing play for Georgia.
Well, as Terrence Edwards goes for the touchdown, Rodney Creighton, the corner, had to wonder, where is my help in the secondary? There was no free safety to help him out. He was put on an island. Here he is. He just runs here. No free safety in the middle of the field to help him out. The result is he gets juked. Carter delivers the ball. Nothing but grass in front of him. Edwards now over 100 yards receiving for the game, Steve.
Hap Hines is on to attempt his second extra point. And Hines has it. Terrence Edwards, 5 catches, 118 yards, and 2 scores. He's got all the points.
Which Sports Center do you watch? Now at 6 p.m. only on ESPN.
Mom, Dad, a 37-year-old that lives at home should pay rent.
Great, Mark.
But I want airline miles. Or points.
I don't understand.
My rent would earn me airline miles. And with points, I could upgrade to, like, grandma's rooms.
Like a rewards program.
Whatever.
Now, what does this look like, a Holiday Inn?
More ways to collect and redeem points than any other hotel program. That's today's Holiday Inn.
Let's see some D.
Log on to dsports.com, the ultimate online sporting goods store. dsports.com. C's with D.
You know, there's more to life than beer. There's, okay, give me a minute here. Boy, there's gotta be something. Sometimes you just have to stop and smell the beer. Okay, that's long enough. Ice brewed so there's never any watered down taste. Ice House. Enjoy.
Georgia has touchdowns on their last 2 possessions. People are saying, hey, why couldn't you do that in the first half? But obviously a much different ball game facing a defense playing with a 38-0 lead. 38-14 in front of 86,117. The Bulldogs have sold out every single game this season here at Sanford Stadium in Athens, Georgia.
Auburn is prepared for an onside kick, but that's not what's going to happen.
Brett Kerouac is set to kick it away. High end over end kick. So Marquise Cooper loses the football at the 6, able to pick it up now. And will scamper down the sideline and get out at the 15, and we get out to Reese Davis.
All right, Steve, as Ugo looks on, 10-0 Miami. Clinton Portis gets the ball. He's going to cough it up. Ike Charlton will pick it up. Keep an eye on Kenny Kelly. Makes a nice tackle, but knocks himself out of the game for a while with a bad shoulder. He is back now. Hokies take advantage. Tyrone Stith scoring at 10-7. Corey Moore, by the way, just limped off. It's a tough, tough game.
All right, Reese, thanks very much.
Steve, we've had both those teams this year, and one thing is clear. Both those defenses will hit you. You got Dan Morgan, great linebacker, Nate Webster, and, of course, all those Tech people.
There's a flag on the field, and it looks like they're going to kick it again.
Corey Moore, John Engelberger.
What's Engelberger's 40 time again? What do they say, 4.55?
Hey, you know what? You need to focus on the game, all right? What's wrong with you? Well, Georgia being offside affords Auburn the chance to regroup now and realize that maybe they're not going to kick an onside with nearly the entire quarter down 24. They can maybe set up a return. Of course, then again, now's the time for the onside kick. Surprise the heck out of them, right?
Yep. They put an extra second back on the clock as well.
That's good news.
They do it again. Kerouac. And it is Travaris Robinson on the return this time. And Robinson is brought down at the 21-yard line. We talked about Uga 6. Well, check it out. We've heard a catcher cam. We've got dog cam. He has a camera, as you can see. Uga is very popular. He has a website for Georgia dogs. And we are told that if you click on the website, you actually get some of those live pictures from his camera.
Let me have that pen so I can write that down.
Speaking of the website, Auburn and Georgia, they both received the highest overall grades among SEC schools for their respective websites. So it's not just a battle on the field and with the fans, but it's a battle of the websites as well. And Keith Evans makes that catch. In a 38-14 game, the dog has a website. I don't even have a laptop, and the dog has a website. I got to get on that highway.
They take care of their mascots in Athens, don't they? Jim Donnan, very, very frustrated. I don't think he could have anticipated the team was going to play this poorly this evening, particularly on defense.
And quite frankly, the score is misleading. It's 38-0. 14 unanswered points now for Georgia. They connect to Ronnie Daniels, and that has been the story of the game. Ben Leard to Ronnie Daniels. Leard passing for 4 touchdowns, 2 of them to Daniels. Leard also has a rushing touchdown to his credit.
And notice that the one man that took him down, Steve, was defensive tackle Marcus Stroud. They needed a 6'6", 300-pounder to drag him down because all the defensive backs have been unable to do it up to this point.
Stroud, the all-SEC candidate for the defensive tackle. Actually, that's the real strength of that defensive line, the 2 defensive tackles. And 1st and 10 now from the 32-yard line. Leard will hand it off to Rusty Williams. Pickup of 1, if anything. Here's Reese Davis.
Steve, deep in the heart of Texas, the Longhorns thinking about trying to clinch the Big 12 South Championship against Texas Tech, and the ball was tipped. Rob Peters passed and taken by Lee Jackson, 22 yards for a touchdown to make it 14-0. Then the Major Applewhite to Kwame Cavill at 21-0, a Horn victory, and they're in the Big 12 Championship game.
Reese, thanks. Keep us posted. Reese Davis back in our ESPN2 College Football Studio.
Kwame Cavill, do you remember he was a converted linebacker? When does that happen? Converted linebacker to wide receiver?
Pretty rare. 3 wide receivers out to the right. They hand it off to Rusty Williams. Well, Georgia came into this game ranked 16th. The highest combined rankings ever in an Auburn-Georgia game in '83. Auburn was ranked 3rd, Georgia 4th. Auburn's Bo Jackson ran for 88 yards on just 10 carries, and that was in the first half. A Lionel James touchdown in the first quarter was the only touchdown of the game, and Al Del Greco came on for 2 field goals. It was all the Tigers needed as they won 13-7 on their way to the Sugar Bowl. Auburn over Georgia that year, 13-7.
Steve, 3 players that all had prominent NFL careers. Al Del Greco still kicking with the Titans. Lionel James once led the AFC in receiving in 1985, and of course, you know about Vincent Bo Jackson.
Leard is going to be swung around and sent flying. Kendrell Bell on the sack, and he got him.
Kendrell Bell had 4 sacks coming into the game, which is an abnormal number for an inside linebacker. But Leard shows some poise here as well. Number 37, great speed. As he comes in, the second blitzer just can't get him, and Leard does the right thing. Hold it. We're up by 24. No reason to take any chances.
Kevin Ramsey, the defensive coordinator, talking about Bell, said he wasn't even on our recruit board, and they were desperate for linebackers. Bell, a total surprise. The punt is away. Patrick Pass is back for it for Georgia. And that's where the Bulldogs will take over, and they will do so down 38-14.
Meet Jane and Joe.
Hey guys, what you ordering?
Same as last week.
3 extra long chili cheese ponies, add jalapenos, hold the chili with ketchup and onions.
Whoa, she's good.
I know what my customers like. One-of-a-kind stuff like our extra long coney, topped with chili and lots of cheddar cheese. Get one now with Sonic's famous tater tots for only $2.79. Our new apple pie shake tastes just like homemade apple pie.
You can buy a car at Key Life Cars. That's right. Everyone can buy a car at Key Life Cars. We earn your business every day by offering low down payments and low interest rates. Friday and Saturday down payments are only $99 on any car we finance. That's right. If you have a job and can afford a low weekly payment, $99 down is all you need to drive away. And every week, Key Life Cars gives away $50 to one lucky visitor. Stop by and visit us and enjoy free Cokes and popcorn at Key Life Cars on Highway 53 in Calhoun.
Arkansas offense. Who will be standing last?
Mississippi State, Arkansas at 9. Next Saturday on ESPN2.
It's my mom's birthday. She's in Washington. I don't know what to get her.
What'll make her happy?
Hearing from you. Come on. So dial 1-800-CALL-ATT and call her collect. It's the same low rate every minute, everywhere. Now 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls. Hi, Mama. It's your daughter-in-law.
Are you ready for this? Kick Old Man Winter in the teeth with Prestone Antifreeze, the #1 way to fight corrosion and protect your aluminum radiator to 84 below. Get in the Prestone zone so nothing can stop you now.
That's the view from our cam. And there's the view from UGA cam. On the big scoreboard here at Sanford Stadium, they had the big memorable pregame passing of the bone ceremony on September 11th. Michael Greer is the receiver there. We have our Aflac trivia question for you tonight from Athens, Georgia. What is the most played rivalry in Division 1A? We told you this rivalry is tied for 8th most in all of Division 1A. Interesting that Jim Donnan, the head coach of Georgia, was the answer to the Aflac trivia question on Thursday night.
Oswego State Plattsburgh.
No, that would be incorrect.
No?
Donnan was the answer. The question referred to a quarterback who's playing tennis at the same school and at North Carolina State. The answer was Jim Donnan on the Thursday night ESPN college football game. Flag on the play.
Flag goes down to
place Michael Greer.
See, there's a clip behind the play. Javaris Johnson, the tight end, trying to make something happen in the secondary. Gets him in the back. There is the top of your screen. Pushes Casher in the back. That's the official season. There's the amber linen.
Block in the back. On the offense. 10-yard penalty. End of the run. Still second down.
Georgia had been the least penalized team in the SEC the last 3 seasons prior to this one, but they have really, the flags have really piled up for Georgia this season. And there you see some of the numbers. Second best in the nation in 97, and they have just about tripled it here in 99. After the penalty, brings up a 2nd and 16 from the 22-yard line. Quincy Carter stepping up under pressure, and he is taken down. Sacked on the play. Leo Carson, part of that front unit that is so strong for Auburn.
Leo Carson was one of the defensive players that John Lovett, defensive coordinator, pointed out would be in a spy mode. If he couldn't get up the field, then he would linger, and that's what he does right there. Hanging behind, not pressing. And as a result of staying in his lanes and hanging back, he is able to drop Quincy Carter. There isn't a defensive coordinator, Steve, in the Southeast Conference that isn't concerned with Carter's ability to break out of the pocket. But tonight, the Auburn Tigers have done a tremendous job of hemming number 17 in.
That's Carson's numbers on the season. Career against Georgia, coming in 21 tackles and 4 sacks as he adds to his numbers. That pass is a bullet behind the receiver, but complete to Jermaine Phillips. Nice hands.
Really was. Thrown behind. Phillips able to reach back and come up with the ball. Carter's the first one to give him the high five, and justifiably so. Take a look at this. Oh, man, what a catch. No. I know the ball hit the ground. You're sitting at home saying, no, it should be incomplete. No.
4th and 3. This is 4th down territory. Here's Quincy Carter out of the shotgun. 3 receivers left, 2 to the right. Carter fires, and it's complete for the first down and then some to Michael Greer. And he is stopped just shy of the 50-yard line for a pickup of 14 on the play.
Larry Casher appears to go for the bat. The pass broken up if he stays with him. And instead, you can see the top of the screen. Here comes Casher. Greer plants. He thinks he knows where he's coming. He jumps in front, is not able to get a hand on it. The result is Greer able to cut upfield, get extra yardage, and the first down.
Greer has those good bloodlines as well. His dad is Steve, the former Georgia All-American defensive lineman, who's currently the director of football operations here at Georgia. Here's Carter trying to run out of the way, and he is taken down by 3 white shirts. Here's Reese Davis.
Steve, BYU can clinch the Mountain West with a win over Wyoming, but the Cowboys making it tough. Up 17-10, Jay Stoner to Kofi Shuck. Nice catch in the back of the end zone at 24-10. And by the way, Demmel's in the press box. He's going to stay up there till Wyoming loses.
Reese, thanks. Reese Davis standing by at our ESPN2 college football studio, keeping us up to date, everything going on in the nation on another wild Saturday of college football. 2 of the unbeatens going down today. Under 8 to play here in the 4th quarter. 5 wide receivers on 2nd and 9. Here's Quincy Carter throwing, and it looks like it was in and out of the hands of Terrence Edwards. Good coverage on the play by Rashad Walker.
I think one of the things here, Steve, that at the end of the game you're going to see, when people pick up the paper and they're going to see Quincy Carter's numbers and sees that he's thrown for so many yards, they're not going to really appreciate the job that the secondary has done for Auburn. You know, coming into this game, we pointed out the fact that both teams had combined to give up more than 540 yards passing, second and fifth, respectively, in the nation as the worst against the pass. But Auburn, I think, has been very effective tonight, Steve.
Carter, this half is 13 of 16. And they probably had a couple of drops on him, as that last play would indicate. That one has caught Terrence Edwards in heavy traffic. Walker was there with him again to bring him down after the 20-yard gain.
Don't forget, Terrence Edwards is a freshman, and Quincy Carter is a sophomore. So this is a combination that you could see for quite a while. Good job of extending his hands and making the catch in those hands. That time Walker just a little bit too late.
Gives him the fresh set of downs. 7.5 to play in the football game. Off the low snap, caught it, throwing high, started up in the air, and dropped. There's a flag on the play. Edwards probably should have brought that one down. Looks like maybe pass interference will be the call.
I think that's going to be the call, but Steve, it looked like Walker was just playing him aggressively. Short corner route by Edwards. Going to lean a little bit to the inside and then break to the outside. Walker turns around and he makes a break on the ball. Oh, boy. I don't like that.
Ball occurs more than 15 yards.
There was
15 yards. Previous loss. First down.
See, clearly there was a collision, but it seemed to me that it was a millisecond before the ball arrived. And as you pointed out, I think that's the ball that Edwards could have caught. And the other thing, if you notice that when Edwards got up, he wasn't screaming or jumping around for a flag, and that's usually an indicator. And now here comes the trash talk.
He was angry at anybody. He was probably angry at himself for not catching the football. And I think Walker was just pointing to the scoreboard as he looked at the score. Auburn takes a timeout. And that is the first charge timeout for them in the second half. With 7:26 to go here in quarter number 4. Coming up Tuesday on ESPN at 7 p.m. It's Outside the Lines, presented by AT&T, the Native America Sports Experience. The ongoing controversy of Native American mascots, logos, and team names. How Phil Jackson used teachings of the Lakota Sioux in coaching the Bulls to 6 NBA championships. Native Americans in the NHL, and much more. Coming up on the award-winning Outside the Lines, presented by AT&T. Here's Holly.
Hey guys, standing by with John Ward, the caretaker for the War Eagle. And John, this is a pretty special bird, and she's a female, no less.
That's correct. This is a 21-year-old female golden eagle.
And you said you can't have students petting her and allowing people around her too close because of the new federal law.
That's absolutely correct. We have to have a couple federal permits in order to possess this bird, and along with that come a lot of regulations and rules we have to follow.
Now, the glove you've got on your arm is made of some pretty strong material.
That's correct. It's double layer leather with a Kevlar lining. Same stuff they make bulletproof vests out of for the police.
Now, I understand when you got this new bird, you went on a national search, and then the bird had to perform some tests. Pretty important stuff for a mascot, huh?
What we looked for was a bird that was real approachable to the public and could not be released back into the wild, therefore not harming with the natural habitats of these birds.
Well, she's bringing him good luck here tonight. Thanks very much, John.
Thank you, Holly. A coachable bird. Thad Parker on that reception.
But then again, does the bird have its own website? Huh?
That's a good point.
All right, then.
This rivalry is heating up. and the bird doesn't have its own camera.
There's no War Eagle cam, yeah.
Well, maybe at home games. Let's give, Auburn credit. Maybe at home games. They're traveling on the road. Maybe the camera, the War Eagle camera didn't fit on the bus. Georgia trying to score a touchdown on their third straight possession. This was a 38-0 football game. Favoring War Eagle. To the goal line and short. Terrence Edwards, the completed pass. The reception from Quincy Carter, and they push him back a few yards.
If there's any debate about Quincy Carter's arm strength, it should have been assuaged with that throw. That was a dart. And Jim Donnan, I just realized something, Steve. I think it's your fault. Jim Donnan had dinner with you last night, and I think that's the reason. I think you jinxed him.
Really? Where were you?
I was there too, but
you were right next to me. Edwards now 7 catches, 148 yards. Waiting for the indication, and there it is. Quincy Carter, the touchdown. to make things even closer. We have 6:58 left in the fourth quarter. And you were joking when I suggested comeback.
Well, as you pointed out in the first half, not so good. Now 21 of 29 for 277 yards. And, of course, those 2 touchdown tosses to Edwards. But as I say, those numbers can be deceiving. And here's my wild stab, Steve. I'm saying with 6:58 remaining, Georgia will try the onside kick this time around.
All right. Hap Hines is on to attempt the extra point. Auburn led 31-0 at the break, scored the touchdown first possession of the second half. But since then, 3 consecutive touchdowns and 3 Hap Hines extra points.
Well, as we pointed out, Quincy Carter has had a tremendous second half. This time, instead of doing it with his arm, he's able to do it with his legs. Over for the touchdown, 38-21.
You are so beautiful. You are so beautiful.
At BASF, we don't make the cooler. We make it cooler. We don't make the fishing line. We make it stronger. We don't make the fuel. We make it burn cleaner. We don't make the water scooter. We make it lighter. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy. We make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
Want to win a trip to Super Bowl 34 and other prizes from Visa and UPS? Tune into Sunday night's game for your chance to win. Enter the ESPN Sunday Night Football Sweepstakes presented by Visa and UPS.
I don't have to enter. I'm in the halftime show.
Watch or log on for more details.
A great tradition continues on ESPN2. Friday Night Fights. This week's main event, Mark Johnson takes on Raul Juarez for the IBF Junior Bantamweight title. Friday Night Fights, Friday at 9 on ESPN2.
We documented the fact that it was going to be a battle of the quarterbacks, and now the numbers are a little more even. Quincy Carter on that last drive, 7 for 8. And there you see the documentation, 21 of 29, 277 yards and 2 touchdowns. Don't forget Leard's numbers there, 405 yards and 4 touchdowns, both now club records. As I pointed out earlier, 38-21 with 6:58 remaining in the game. It would appear that Georgia might want to take this opportunity to go for the onside kick. The two teams this evening have combined for 805 total yards on offense. So from that vantage point, we were right when we mentioned it. And here they are lined up for the onside kick. Auburn prepared for it with 9 people between the 45 and the 50, Steve.
You called it, the onside kick. Chad Holloman boosts it. Looks like a required 10 yards. Loose football.
Marcel Willis is the one on the recovery. Steve, they did a nice job with the kick. The thing that I didn't understand in that case is you had too many Georgia guys going after the block. Once it gets past that first wave, one of the redshirts should have just jumped up and gotten a piece of it. Instead, Willis able to focus and concentrate. I can tell you from personal experience, being on the onside safe team, that's no fun. Because you're standing there waiting to catch the ball, and the guy's got like a 15-yard run, and all he's interested in doing is knocking your head off.
So Auburn has the football. Under 7 to play here on the fourth quarter. And a timeout taken by Georgia, their first of the second half.
Timeout, Georgia.
We'll take a timeout ourselves here on ESPN2.
I was looking for an onion, a really big onion. A blooming onion as big as your head. One bite of that onion and bam, you were hooked. I mean, you want to have more and more, and you think about them, you dream about them, you just got to have them. And you can't stop, and you go anywhere, and those spices, oh yeah, I'm telling you, I was consumed by that onion. And that onion was consumed by me.
It's easy to get a bloomin' onion. Get to Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
How's about a nice juicy steak to go with that bloomin' onion?
Steak? Hey, why didn't I think of that? I love steak. Big, juicy. I knew I was in for the fight of my life, but I was ready.
When my husband and his friends start exchanging fish stories, it's the phone bill that can turn into a whopper.
I fought this monster for hours. First I had the upper hand, then he took control.
That's why we always dial 10-10-321. With 10-10-321, calls over 10 minutes are 50% off. That's just 8 cents a minute. Daytime, nighttime, anytime.
I'll tell you, it was like a whale.
Yeah?
You should have seen this.
Well, let me tell you about my trip. Dial 10-10-321 and talk as long as you want, whenever you want.
Oh, this awful cold.
Poor baby. He'll be up all night.
Coughing.
Sneezing. No way, he'll be up with the chickens.
No cold hands in the morning.
Sorry, girls, but he's getting NyQuil.
You need relief.
So I can rest.
And when he wakes up, he'll be ready to go.
Good morning, ladies.
NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest and have a good morning medicine.
Ooh.
Trying to keep the Georgia fans in this football game. Down 38-21 with 6:53 left here in fourth quarter action. Auburn has the ball just on the Georgia side of the football field. Here's Ben Lear, one of the many stars for Auburn. Completes the pass. It's to the tight end Lorenzo Diamond for the pickup of 11.
Mentioned earlier the fact that Tommy Tuberville wants to use the tight end. He had a couple of good ones at Mississippi, most notably Rufus French.
The answer to our Aflac trivia question, the question, what is the most played rivalry in Division 1A? We got to experience it earlier in the season. Minnesota-Wisconsin, 108 games in their all-time series dating back to 1890. This series here between Auburn and Georgia is tied for 8th most with Oregon and Oregon State.
And Steve, we experienced it in a great way, an overtime game, tremendous game.
Here's Lear handing off to Heath Evans, who has had himself a ball game as well. And here's Reese.
Steve, Chiron Stiff having himself a nice game as well. Miami and Virginia Tech and Blacksburg Vic running the option, and Stiff finds the seam. He'll take it 42 yards, his second touchdown of the game, and the Hokies are on top, 14-10.
All right, Reese, thanks very much. Can't wait to see the BCS now in the polls, how interesting it will be. After another wild and crazy day, there you see the remaining schedules from the big teams in the BCS.
Well, of course, we already know that Florida State whacked Maryland, and so that Florida State game becomes that much bigger as Florida defeated South Carolina 20-3, not exactly what you would consider handily. And certainly if Virginia Tech were to defeat Miami this evening, you would think clear sailing. But then again, don't forget, last year Virginia Tech was upset by Temple of all teams. I mean, that was one of the biggest shockers of the year, so they're not taking anything for granted.
For Auburn, with a win tonight, gives them a chance if they win out and win their remaining game after this one, that would make them bowl eligible. And this would have to be, in the eyes of the pollsters, the computer, a quality victory on the road against a nationally ranked team. Maybe Auburn has postseason play in their future.
I would think that if they win this game and defeat Alabama, yeah, I like their chances.
And that would give them a 6 to make them bowl eligible in the first place. There are going to be a lot of bowl eligible teams that are not in bowls.
Ball before the snap. Delay a game. On the offense. Clock will start on the snap.
See, the other thing with regards to that, Steve, as we'll get into the bowl tie-ins here in just a second, is the fact that not only would they be bowl eligible with the 6 wins, but now, I don't know if he's the hottest quarterback, but he's certainly, you know, a marketable commodity when you got a big star like Ben Lear. You can see all the bowl tie-ins with the SEC. And, of course, following our game, Kentucky-Vanderbilt, the winner of that game then becomes bowl eligible. So there's still a lot to be played out here over the next couple of weeks where the bowls are concerned.
Segue nicely into that promo.
I learned from your studio guy.
That's coming up. You should have taken care of me here on the road like you have. Heath Evans is banged back after maybe a pickup of one on the play.
You mentioned the fact that Heath Evans is having a big game. It may not be statistically in big numbers, but he has run well enough, Steve, that the play action has been effective. And, of course, he's also been the personal protector of Ben Leard, who has not gone down that often tonight.
And he's caught a couple of balls as well out in the flat and showed some good speed. For the yards after the catch tonight, you know, we've been focusing so much on Ronnie Daniels, but even the other offensive players for Auburn have done it.
A couple of weeks ago when we had the Florida game, remember we were visiting with Tommy Tuberville, and we asked him then, is your starting tailback even on the team right now. And he said, no, whoever the starter is going to be will be a JUCO transfer or a freshman. Now I'm not so sure. I think he's got to consider number 44.
You have to feel good for Tommy Tuberville, for Noel Mazzoni, the offensive coordinator. Again, we visited them a few weeks ago. I mean, they were so depressed and so down. Well, this is the players, the offensive players. Self-esteem was low. From Mazzoni told us his 7-year-old daughter is the only one he said that still loves him.
Right.
And now to be able to come on the road against a rival, a ranked opponent, and put up 38 points in a brilliant offensive showing. And you know what? Good for those two guys. Good for the whole offensive unit for Auburn. They've had some tough times this year.
And Tommy Tuberville understood that coming in there were going to be some growing pains. I think that he was particularly frustrated by those two Mississippi games, Mississippi State, a missed field goal in an overtime game, and then, of course, Mississippi State. They were ahead 16-3 with 4 minutes remaining and ended up losing that game. Certainly he was frustrated by that. I don't know if this particular game makes up for all of that, but that certainly salves a lot of wounds. Steve, one thing I've discovered about football, winning's penicillin. It fixes everything.
Auburn, even if they win out and they're bowl eligible, and if they don't get into a bowl game, their future would be very bright, you would think, with Ben Lear. But here is the bowl eligible teams in the SEC, and that's what you're up against. It's a slew of teams from the SEC, and that Kentucky Vanderbilt winner. And sure enough, we've got that game for you, and that's coming up next here on ESPN2.
Oh,
He's sent by Sammy Mano.
Maybe that's where they should have gone for it. We're looking at about what? That's a 7-yarder, I think. 6-7-yarder. Oh, that's ugly.
Waiting for the official word. We're going with 3 yards. A 3-yard punt. You gave him too much credit.
Did I? Man, oh, man.
Man, oh, man.
Oh, okay. No, it wasn't meant to be. Wasn't meant to be, but that's certainly going to affect his average. You see him with the closed eyes, not terribly happy with himself, although he's got a grin on his face, and why not? You're up 17.
.401 to play here in fourth quarter action. This is just joining us. It was 38-0 in favor of Auburn. Georgia 3 unanswered. Touchdowns. They complete the pass to Jermaine Phillips. Rashad Walker laid him out pretty good.
Yeah, he laid him out pretty good, but Phillips bounced up, made the catch. No big deal.
On 2nd and 7, 5 in the pattern. Here's Carter to throw again. And they continue to dink and dunk. That time to Terrence Edwards. And the clock rolls.
Well, Edwards is certainly going to pad his stats. Coming into the game, Steve, he had 35 catches and 6 touchdowns. And now, obviously, he has 8 touchdowns. Might end up with 10 catches before the game's out.
Carter, on the other hand, is up to 283 yards passing in the game. So the numbers will look pretty decent in the newspaper tomorrow. For 21 points, it won't be enough. Nearly intercepted, instead complete to Michael Greer, who runs down the sideline and is forced out at the 43-yard line of Auburn. Pickup of 19 there. Well, we showed you the bowl-eligible teams. Well, likely one of these teams will be eligible after tonight. Kentucky and Vanderbilt. That is coming up next here on ESPN2. That should be a dandy. Talk about some pressure, a chance for the winner to be bowl eligible, and kind of got to get this one. One of the teams has got to get this one because what's left on both schedules is Tennessee.
And after losing today, they're going to be motivated.
Here's Carter stepping up. And finally dragged down by Leo Carson for the pickup of 11. And here's Reese.
Steve, looks as if BYU is going to miss this opportunity to clinch the Mountain West against Wyoming, down 24-10. And here's Tim Beasley wide open going in from 14. It's 31-10, and the Mountain West is about to be a mess again.
All right, Reese, thank you. Clock moving, 2:35 and counting. Again, it's Greer, and he is hammered down to the turf. Kind of lost a yard on the play. Rodney Creighton was right there to make the hit. Greer starting to add up some numbers as well now. 8 catches, 76 yards.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think Carter's over 300 yards too, isn't he, Steve?
302 yards. On the money as usual. 25 of 33 for Carter. They look to add to those numbers. Got a man across the middle. It's complete to Jermaine Phillips. He went up high for the catch across the traffic and is brought down at the 15 after a pickup of 18 on the play.
Once again, I tell you what, Phillips is impressing me with his ability to catch the ball, especially the balls thrown behind. Remember that one he had earlier across the middle, right-handed, one-handed. This one, tough in traffic, too. He takes the collision, still able to hang on to the football.
From the 15, quarterback draw. Carter takes off, and now he slides down to the turf.
I'm surprised they didn't call earlier. But again, you got to give Auburn credit, not fooled.
Carter passing this half, 21 of 20, but it won't help in the long run tonight.
Two of my agents are missing, Fox Muller and Dana Scully.
An unseen adventure with a difference. You solve it. Now available on the PlayStation game console. In 6 days,
It's the best we have.
the wait is over. The world is yours.
James Bond is here.
On November 19th. The World Is Not Enough. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday.
Now managing all of your finances is easier than ever with America Online.
Personal finance on AOL is wonderful if you want to look up your stocks.
I do my banking, I pay my bills, I check my investments.
More people do their finances on AOL than anywhere.
If you want to buy stock on AOL, you can choose from one of the 4 leading online brokers with a click of a button.
AOL makes investing easy, safe, and secure.
I've taken back control of my money.
Take control of your finances with America Online. Call 1-800-4ONLINE and sign up today.
Back in Athens, Georgia, final minute 37 to play in a ball game really that has been all Auburn despite the score. First 34 minutes of this game, it was 38-0 Auburn. Since then, 21-0 Georgia, and the Bulldogs are threatening to score here again. Here's Carter off the low snap. Has time, rolling to his left, and firing. Should have been intercepted. In and out of the hands of Rashad Walker, who all of a sudden has become a big factor in the second half in that Auburn secondary. Our Prestone players of the game as selected by a very respectable panel here in Athens, Georgia.
Well, not a big surprise. Of course, Ben Leard, he's been the man. Of course, those 4 touchdowns were all in the first half when the game was salted away 31-0. And Terrence Edwards, as we pointed out, proving himself to be a star, even though he's only a freshman. You know, you saw Ben Leard on the one knee on the sidelines. One thing that impressed me, Steve, about him is that every time I noticed when he came to the sidelines, with the notable exception when Holly pointed it out, very calm, very poised.
Here's Carter throwing, end zone. That one nearly intercepted as well. Looks like it went to a pair of hands. The intended receiver, though, was Thad Parker. Rodney Creighton was right there.
Auburn coming into this game, Steve, tied for second interceptions in the nation. Right through the arms of Adlai Trone. Very catchable ball. Should have been a pick.
This game is so much more than a football game because of the proximity. There's a huge recruiting war between these two schools. And there are 19 Auburn players that hail from the state of Georgia. So you know how big this is to them. And maybe the biggest, Van Leer. Georgia uses its last timeout. We check in with Holly.
Hey guys, it's that time for Holly's Heroes, and this guy might be a little surprised because he's home watching the game tonight on television. It's a redshirt freshman quarterback for Auburn, Alan Tillman. Hey Alan, your work on the scout team this week for Auburn, replicating Quincy Carter, has paid off big for your team. He is 6'2", 190 pounds, and Coach Tuberville told us that they had to chase him all week. The poor defensive guys were running ragged in the backfield, and his help preparing for the elusive Quincy Carter earns him our Holly's Hero of the game.
Can you picture Alan Tillman at home watching TV,
right.
and he sees himself come up on the screen?
If he's with his partners in the apartment or the fraternity, wherever he is, they're high-fiving right now, I guarantee you. They're excited.
Or if he came in at the last second and just saw himself on the screen, he would have fallen off the top.
That's a good choice by Holly. Yeah. And, of course, I think in a lot of cases, people at home don't really realize how significant these players are in preparing the various and sundry offenses and defenses for their games. And the particular offenses, of course, 6'2", 190 is very difficult to duplicate what Quincy Carter can do, but obviously Tillman did a good job because even though you see the big numbers in passing, they've all come after the fact.
True unsung heroes, guys who practice so hard during the week, don't get the dress, don't get the uniform, don't get the travel.
Excellent choice.
Way to go, Howie's here. We echo those sentiments. Incomplete pass as they were looking just about down to the goal line, and the tight end Randy McMichael.
Good throw by Quincy Carter, put it on his hands, but you can see the frustration of McMichael knowing that that's a ball he should have caught.
We asked Tommy Tuberville a win here, what has been really a disappointing season. Would that make the season for Auburn? And he said, no, it's not make or break for this game. He said it'd be great for our seniors to try to get them in position to be bowl eligible. But you can see the joy on that Auburn sideline. This is great for them.
You make a good point, though, Stephen. Ironically enough, great for the seniors on the senior night of Georgia.
Right. And Auburn travels well. Many of their fans in attendance. Leard still at quarterback. He'll take a knee. You know he doesn't want out of this game. He wants to kneel down as the clock expires, and he will run off Sanford Stadium's field for the first time ever, and he will do so a winner in an Auburn uniform.
Well, certainly at 3-5 a couple of weeks ago, the idea that Auburn might actually have a shot at a bowl, I don't think made a lot of sense. Central Florida, not that big an upset, but certainly tonight, not only the win, Steve, but what this is going to do for the confidence of the young people. And you have to figure that if you come into this place and win, you're certainly not going to be afraid of Alabama next week.
Auburn gets Alabama, as you mentioned. We'll see Georgia against Ole Miss at Oxford, and then Georgia closes it out against Georgia Tech in nearby Atlanta. We close into the final half minute. The road team so successful in this series. You check it out. The home team has not won since 1991. And in fact, Auburn has now won 7 of their last 8 games here. They'll go to 15-7 here in Athens.
The home team will have to wait for their win in the next millennium, I believe, Steve.
The final score. Auburn pulls it out in blowout fashion early. They win 38-21. For Todd Christensen and Holly Rowe, this is Steve Levy. Thanks for watching, everyone.